shop. Get out my face. Alrighty. Now let's start pushing shit to the webpage. Let's make sure that they can be heard. The bird, the bird's the word, the bird's the word. Have you heard?
Why is it not doing what I want it to do?
The bird's the word. Okay. So now I know the website is pushing properly. Okay. So it looks like the levels is good. The levels is good. The levels is good. The levels is good. Dame fuego, por favor, mi amor. Up. Damn it. How you gonna throw through all this?
It's under your desk.
Waterboard. Jesus.
Okay. Big man, you wanna hear some hot takes? Let's see how woke you are. You know something about podcasts? Hell, dígame. Get me on one, man. I got these 3 drunk uncles with a sports podcast. They say they got fire takes, pure fuego. You find them wherever you listen to podcasts. If it's what they say it is, you like and you subscribe. Listen, like, and subscribe, yeah. You know how to call into the show? Yeah, man, do the podbean. You'll need headphones with a mic to call in. That's no problem, man. They'll also be at Sharky's. 8:07 p.m. on the first Wednesdays of the month. You may get some free Blue Chew. And they keep receipts or so. If anything happens in the sports world, Mike is gonna drop a take faster than a rabbit gets full. There's only 3 things I have in this world. My work, my loves, and this podcast. And I don't break them for nobody. MyT Sports.
Oh, that's much better. Now I can see the TV. Yo, bring me up on camera so we can do this shit. Alright, I'm done. I'm done with this. I'm done with the giggles. I'm done with the shits. I'm just here to cause chaos. I'm here for the chaos. Let's go. Raise my curtain. Good evening and welcome back to another edition of the MyT Sports Podcast. I am your host, the one and only Untitled Chapter. It is another Fuego day in the hottest city in the world. We're recording to you live and direct from South Florida. To be specifically, the studio in Tamarack, Florida. That's just about 30 minutes away from Miami. For the individuals that need a little bit more specification, about 10 minutes away from Fort Lauderdale, maybe 15 minutes depending who's driving. See, my sugar's over there. She's over there playing a little bit of Grand Theft Auto. I see over there struggling on some mission. Don't worry. Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming. And she tried to run from the cops. Like, she had to jump in the water later. I'm tell her to keep swimming so you don't get shot. Folks, it is January 26, 2022. This is Season 7, Episode 55. Excerpt 388 of the MyT Sports Podcast. And boy, do we have a big show for you today, folks. We gotta talk about the Baseball Hall of Fame. Apparently, they've left out some scumbags, but they've let in a few scumbags as well. We got some NCAA women's basketball history to get into. Apparently, Peyton is out. We're going to talk about that. Apparently, Tom Brady may be out. We're going to talk about that. Apparently, betting is on in New York, and you're going to want to bet on New York. And speaking of New York, you know we got our Knicks talk. You know we ain't going to go forward without our Knicks talk. I thought we was going to get into some lighter side of sports today, but I can't remember the motherfucking story. We got our James Harden woes. We got Stockton being banned. We got a Love to See It segment today. We got a whole big show for you on tonight on Wednesday. And I know for the folks that are wondering like, hey yo, Bay. I thought you were supposed to be recording out of Shorkies. You know what I mean? Like I thought you and the boys were supposed to go to Shorkies to record a podcast today. That was supposed to happen. Things don't always go as you think they gonna go. Things happen, B. Things happen. Plus, it was weather. More than anything, it was weather. Don't worry. We won't let weather stop us for the first Wednesday of February. We will not. I refuse. We shall not be moved. We gonna make sure we get you guys. But today we had to take precautions. We weren't quite ready for all of the rain that was going on today. We had a big downpour, like big old downpour. Like the sky just opened up. It's like this Niagara Falls out there, and we ain't even nowhere close to Niagara Falls. But you know what we are close to? We are close to officially starting this podcast. So you know what we say here, right? Regardless of the time. And also, for everybody that's listening, right? Depending on where you're listening to us live, we are having a few audio issues. So if you are catching us live through the website, looks like the audio is coming in and out a little bit there. So bear with it as it continues to do whatever the fuck it does. I can't explain it. That shit ain't for me to explain. Like that's not on me. That's bloop bloop. Yeah, that's definitely hidden. Excuse me. It wasn't my fault. But so if you guys are listening on the website, just know they're gonna be coming in and out. But if you would like to join the podcast, don't forget that you can always join the podcast through the Blue Chew Getting Hotline, which we use through the Podbean app, folks. Yes, download the Podbean app. Look for the logo. Go to the live section. Look for the Mighty Sports logo. Go ahead and tap on that. You'll be able to listen to the podcast, and you'll also be able to call in whenever you're ready to join the show. As well, you can always catch the show anywhere that you watch the podcast live at as well. You know, we're on Twitch where we see the people joining from Twitch. Thank you for the Twitch world out there. You know what I mean? Our NBA 2K. I'll be on 2K too. Look for your boy. Holla at me. The name is MyT Sports. Listen, I do this everywhere. I'm like American Express. You know what I mean? That's just anywhere you want to be, B. A B A O A O B A O. See that? A, B, C, D's nuts. Sorry. A, B, C, D, F that I'm pushing over here. Nah, me and my G. I don't even know why I'm having fun with the alphabet right now. Is my liquor talking to me already? Alright, so before my liquor talks to me, let's start the podcast. We like to start all podcasts, right? Let's go ahead and start it with the birthday party. We only got one birthday to celebrate, so let's go ahead and get that out the way. Go ahead, DJ MyT. Go ahead and drop that beat for me one time. Yeah, this one for the cuz. Yeah, come on, let's go. 'Cause yeah, it's your birthday. We said it's your birthday. Check it, yeah, check it, yeah, because it's your birthday, we sing happy birthday. Check it, yeah, check it, yeah. All right, so I only have one birthday shout out to go to holler at, and that is happy birthday to the cousin Georgetta Davidson. Georgetta, you know what I mean? She's a cousin of the cousin, right? I haven't fully met her in person. It was when we was kids, if I have, right? But she's on my cousin's side of the family. You know what I mean? Like I think not too long ago, you heard. I think that's the other day. You heard me. Last podcast, you heard me saying happy birthday to my auntie Marie. That's on my auntie Marie side of the family. So I just want to say happy birthday to her. So that's there was no other birthday for me to holler at. Right? So to all of them, so to Georgetta, we want to wish you a happy birthday. We hope you party hard. Hope you enjoy everything. We hope you regret nothing. But more importantly, we hope you will continue to stay MyT. Now, we do have one thing to talk about for today. As far as an anniversary. Do you know what the anniversary of today is, Shugs? She probably wouldn't know. Cause she's over there riding with her top down in a convertible, trying not to fall out. It's okay though. We're doing 100 miles an hour hydroplaning. Oh! Ghost ride the whip. So, baby, can I make you a professional gamer? I'm just gonna record you playing video games. Don't worry, you're gonna get followers and money. People are gonna follow you. Huh? People are gonna follow you. Listen.
Because I keep losing the same
Listen, we will talk about this afterwards. People will follow you to watch you play video games. And I'll tell you why. And it'll be a moneymaker. We're gonna put it on our OnlyFans page. Is it OnlyFans or fans only? OnlyFans. I do this every time. Like every time I gotta do the exercise, it's only fucks, not fuck out of here. Alright, it's the only place where fucks are given. The OnlyFans. Right? So it's a weird transition we'd have to do, right? And I didn't want to do our regular cut off the celebration to go into something that's a little bit somber, because in this moment we are gonna still celebrate. We are gonna celebrate a moment of life. I wish that I can have this moment for life, for life, for life. I wish I, you know what I mean? We're gonna celebrate life here, and the life that we are actually celebrating happens to be the one of Kobe Bean Bryant. Yes, folks, if you guys remember, this is the 2-year anniversary of us losing Kobe Bean Bryant and his daughter Gigi. As you guys know, Kobe Bryant was a legend, an absolute legend. Hold on, wait for it. Dairy person in the world, not just basketball, in the media world, in the film world, in the motivational world. We're talking about Kobe Bryant was just a legend. Period. What's going on? Dirty Jokes, co-host, Star Max, Star Dash in there. Hashtag Simba. Right, Kobe Bryant was a full blown legend in this game. As we know him a lot for his basketball acclimates, 5 championships, top 5 scorer all time. I did LeBron James pushing out to number 6. You see, LeBron James is in number 3. Jordan is 4. So I still think he's in the top 5 of scoring. 5 championships. Top 5 in scoring, one of the greatest players that we've ever seen play. Laker for the whole entire length of his career. Understanding what it means to be loyal, stay with a franchise, be loyal to a franchise, and have a franchise be loyal to you the whole entire time. Even when times are rough, they still try to be loyal to you, believe it or not. But go through all that. And Kobe Bryant not only left us with the joys on the court, but he also left us with something off the court for us to take in all of the time. And that is something that he likes to call the Mamba Mentality, right? And I've been doing some research about this, right? And I realized that he called himself the Black Mamba, right? But there are a couple of Mambas, believe it or not, right? Like, there isn't just the Black Mamba out there, right? They have believe it or not, they have something for all you alcoholics out there. They have something called the Jameson Mamba. Yes, folks, there is a Jameson Mamba out there found in Central Africa, South Sudan, and all other places. Let's see, he's not found in Jamaica, so we good on that. Actually, I don't think any of these Mambas are found in Jamaica or found down here in South Florida. A lot of these stuff are African and South African, actually African, period. Most of these are African. As you know, he called himself the Black Mamba. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna adapt one of these Mambas, right? And I think I'm gonna go with the Jameson Mamba. Should I go with the Eastern Green Mamba? You know what I mean? I'm from New York. You know what I mean? Like we got some like we like our dough. You know what I mean? Well, how about the Eastern Green Mamba? How does that sound, baby? Eastern Green Mamba. Sounds great. Yeah. I'm gonna throw that into the AKA bin. We gonna throw ourselves into the Eastern Green Mamba. Right? It is not quite Mamba Mentality, right? But it'll get you places. It'll get you a podcast. Now, as much as he also gave us a Mamba Mentality, which was just a mentality that just to basically try your hardest. Basically, you know the saying, practice makes perfect. Well, practice doesn't make perfect. Practice makes you better, and your goal is to be better than you were the day before. See, success has rent that needs to be paid, and that rent for success is due every single day. So you gotta you can't just think that, oh, I've gotten to a certain point and then be able to skate for a little bit. No, you gotta keep pushing, because the moment you start skating and getting stagnant, you actually keep falling, because to not move up is to move down. Trust me, in some ways I have to remind myself of sometimes too. So sometimes when I talk to you guys, I'm talking to myself too. Like, ain't shit. Sometimes when I'm talking to people, period, sometimes I'm talking to myself too. Don't get it twisted. I'm talking to myself. I'm preaching to myself too. I'm holding myself accountable in the same ways. Or if I'm my orange lighter. Ooh, let's see if this can turn the tide of this Knicks game. Because as you guys know, I do have the Knicks game. I always have a game on in the background. I always try to keep some kind of sporting event on in the background. And today's sporting event happened to be the Knicks game. I'm looking for the remote. Maybe no attention. And folks, last time I checked, the game just cut off as my TV timed out or lagged out, or the feed timed out or lagged out, whatever you want to call it. We're gonna go ahead and pull this back up. Last time I checked, the New York Knicks were losing by about 9 points. It was about halfway through the third quarter. Let's see if the New York Knicks can go ahead and get themselves a nice little comeback. But let's go ahead and wrap up our little dedication to Kobe being Bryant, right? Because like I said, Kobe Bryant left us with a mentality to go by, which is the Mamba Mentality, right? Current score right now, 53-81. New York Knicks are getting the brakes beat off of them by almost. I'll turn this game off. It's almost a 30-point lead. Is that what I see? Brooklyn versus Denver? Let's watch Brooklyn versus Denver. I can't believe the fucking Knicks. Fucking Knicks. I'm glad I didn't go to the bar today. Holy shit, I hate to be KJ right now. You understand? KJ's a Knicks fan. In a sea of Heat in a sea of Heat fans. And see, KJ's better than me, right? Because or he's worse than me, I should say. I don't know what to say, if he's better than me or worse than me. Because he goes into an environment like that, and he gets real testy. Like, he can't shit talk people and have it come back. You know what I mean? Or he can't really do the back and forth banter with people. He really want to fight people. Me, I'll do the back and forth banter with you because I know you're not going to fight me. Like, you ain't fighting me, and you not whooping my ass. Like, that's two things that's not happening. Like we talking sports over here. Like is talking sports make you want to fight me because I talk some shit about your sorry ass team, or even if your team is doing good, but I talk some shit about your sorry ass team to make you want to fight me, then I guess we scrapping. And then you know what's happening? Most likely you losing. I only got one loss on my record, B. I don't plan on taking another one before I'm 50. I don't plan on taking. Listen. I also don't plan on having many more fights before I'm 50 either. Like you guys have to understand. Like. You have to understand, like I'm kind of long in the, like I'm not just long in the pants, I'm long in the tooth. If you know what I'm saying here, right? Like I can't be going out there fighting anymore. Who the fuck I look like? Mike Tyson, Bobby Lashley? Like I ain't these niggas. Like I'm just a simple man, but
I'm a man. I'm 40.
You know, like I ain't trying to be out there. You know what I mean? Having fisticuffs with these young fucks. Nah, fuck that. I'm just gonna shoot you in your kneecap or your pinky toe. You know what I mean? Give you a permanent limp for the rest of your life. I ain't trying to kill you. I'm just trying to make you remember. Don't do dumb shit. You do dumb shit, you get dumb prizes. I mean, it's really that simple. And in case you guys forgot, because this definitely will come up sometime again throughout the podcast, right? And I really don't. And I really don't want you to forget, because I know it gets easily overlooked every once in a while, but just to make sure that it stays firm and fresh in everybody's head.
I'm from New York, and you know what? Tom Brady's a fucking bitch.
So back to Kobe Bryant, right? Kobe Bryant gave us a mentality to basically keep being better, right? Like you just keep thriving to be the best version of whatever you can be, and keep getting better at that, and 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 better at that. Now, something that Kobe Bryant also did, right, was that he had a massive love for the women's game. Lose internet connection. He had a massive love for the women's game, and you saw it in a couple of ways. In the way that he constantly attended the Wnba games, in the way that he constantly was also coaching women's basketball on the chat is currently turned off. Whoa. Find out more here. Why is my chat turned off? Would you turn off my chat? Right, but also by the way that he was coaching women on the underage circuit. I guess I'm trying to figure out the words to say here, but basically on the teenage level, right? On the young I want to say young adult level, but on that even on some of the preteens levels, right? 12, 10, 11, 13, 14, right? You saw him coaching women's basketball and really giving his knowledge and his love to the sport. What's going on, Mark? I see you joining the podcast. Now, it's crazy to think about Kobe Bryant and his love for women's sports, right? Hey, DJ MyT, do me a favor. Go ahead and cut the beat, right? Because I don't want this part to get misconstrued, right? I don't want it to get chopped or screwed. Kobe Bryant gave us a love for women's basketball, and I think in a way he made it okay for other male athletes to start expressing their love for women's basketball. Mark, don't you say shit about what I'm about to say about women's basketball. Don't you put your 2 cents in here. I'm having a serious moment. It still gets to me that sometimes that women's basketball hasn't progressed to the point where even I feel comfortable, where I feel like I should be knowing who the number one prospect coming out of high school is, or who the number one person coming out of college is. Like, I should know about this, like I know about who the number one guy coming out of men's basketball is. And as it currently stands right now, I have no clue who the number one guy coming out of men's basketball, and I don't know who the number one person coming out of women's basketball is. I just know a couple of names. For a couple of people that do a couple of things in a couple, you know what I mean? Between a couple, trying to chase a couple of rings. That's all I know. But Kobe Bryant gave us, I think he gave a lot of other male athletes the window to be proud of women's sports, especially women's basketball, or to fall in love with it. I will tell everybody this over and over and over again. If you ever had to teach your son or anybody the fundamentals of basketball, the best place for you to have them learn and watch is women's basketball, because they are not because they can't rely on their pure athleticism to just take them over, right? Or just make them a dominant player. They all have to worry about fundamentals. Women's basketball is the most fundamental form of basketball that you will find to date. The second is European basketball, regardless of gender. After that is Asian basketball. After that is African basketball. And all the way at the bottom is American basketball, as far as fundamentals. And yeah, Africa just started the league like a year ago, and they're fundamentally already better than Americans when it comes to basketball. Just saying. The motherland. Africa. You know what I mean? Hey, where's my African shit, yo? Yo, you know what I want. Bitch, you know what I want? I want to talk to Samson. Fly me to the moon like that bitch Alexander. Because it's hard being young and gifted. Sometimes I just want to throw it all down and get lifted. If you understand what I'm trying to say. But yeah, even the African League is already doing better fundamentally than the American League. So it just goes to show you. It just goes to show you what fundamentals is. But when it comes to women's basketball, and we're talking about on all levels. On the professional levels, you go watch 12-year-olds, 13-year-olds, 14-year-olds, 15-year-olds. The girls that play are always fundamentally better than the boys. Because even when you think about women's and men's basketball, you don't often hear about the player. Every once in a while, you may get a player that really jumps out here and there, right? But you don't really get the player. You hear about the teams. It's more like football in a way, right? In a sense. Where it's a lot about the teams. Even college, right? It's a lot about the teams. That system, that you know, how these women come together. The best team wins. Every once in a while, maybe the best player. When the men, it's usually a lot of times the best player. And then the best teams come and they get a little sprinkle in there. Detroit comes and drops one in there. San Antonio comes and drops one in there. But San Antonio was the best fundamental team with the best player as well. With the best power forward. So they had a couple of doses of greatness. Great coach, great team, great player. All in all. The women's game is so fundamentally sound that is actually where you should go to teach. Now I know at some point in time that you go and you teach them, okay, oh, go watch Jordan, go watch Kobe, go watch Magic, go watch Patrick Ewing, go watch Akeem Olajuwon, you know, go watch Shaq, to teach them how to work the post, to work their jump shot, to work their defense, to work a spin move, to utilize their footwork, their feet work, right? I understand at some point in time you'll get, like, once they grow into some part of their athletic body, you may go tell them, oh, go watch Vince Carter, go watch Allen Iverson, go watch Stephen Curry, go watch Ray Allen. But fundamentally, go watch women's basketball. That's where you'll get the true essence, the pure essence, like the untainted version of basketball. So now I get to the point. Now I say all that because now I really try to wonder, what is Kobe's legacy in women's basketball? And now I get to the point where I start challenging people. I get to the point where I start asking other athletes that old Janet Jackson question, what have you done for me lately? But I hear now these, and I've said it for a while, ESPN, some of these athletes, you're kind of fugazi with how you say you support women's sports. You're kind of fukakta with how you say that you're a fan of women's sports. Like, I'm saying, though, if that's how you love, I'd rather be single. I'm just saying. Because you treat them like a side bitch. Just saying. Like you only want to be seen around women basketball, around certain of your friends. You don't really bring it out around all of your friends. You know what I mean? There's only certain times a day you allow women's basketball to even be talked about around you.
Great fucking analogy.
Thank you, baby. You know what I mean? It's like you love it, but you hide it. So I wonder, right? All of these athletes that love women's sports, especially women's basketball, why aren't you financially investing into it? A lot of the camps that you guys have, you don't have girls' camps, you have boys' camps. Where are your women's camps? That's just one place where I'm challenging you. That's not the place where I'm really challenging you at. That's really not the place where I'm challenging you at. Where I'm challenging you at is in your pockets. It's really where you talk about, hey, yo, bro, I hear you talking to each other. Hey, yo, bro, I want ownership, right? I want to make millions. I'm trying to become a billionaire. Like, I want to own my own franchise. But they won't let you in, or you don't have enough of that money yet, because to own a franchise, you need a couple of $1 billion. But that's because you guys keep thinking about NBA franchises, and NFL franchises, and MLB franchises. But you understand, and that's because you're trying to get to where these owners are now. But these owners, where they're at now, they caught these leagues when they were young. Oh shit. Is that light bulb starting to pop off now? Is that light bulb starting to pop off now for all of you athletes that have already made $250 million? Is this light bulb starting to pop off now, what I'm telling you? You're looking at the wrong league. You're pumping your money and your energy into the wrong league. What you need to do is go buy a WNBA team. Go get that into your city. Go get that underneath your belt. Go buy a WNBA team for $2 million. Let's do this. Okay, Google, how much was the Las Vegas Aces sold for? Turn that up for me. What is that saying? I got that turned all the way down.
Okay, Google, turn your volume up to 10.
Okay, so the Las Vegas Aces, it looks like just sold for $500 million, right? Let's see what I think it was Al Davis. Davis bought LV Aces for, let's see. Raiders owner Mark Davis expands in Las Vegas Aces. Bryant. Hey, if anybody know any cheat codes for Grand Theft Auto 5 on the Xbox, drop them shits in my comments. It's for my girl. Alrighty, let's see here. Let's see here. Okay, 2017, la 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 la. They bought it from the MGM Group. They also built a $75 million practice arena. They arrived in the desert and opened a new $2 billion stadium. Okay, la 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 la. I didn't see it yet. But let's say it is $500 million. I just called on every single athlete that's already made $250 million. You're telling me the Dwayne Wades, LeBron James, Stephen Curry, Alex Rodriguez's, Paul Pierce's, Kevin Garnett's, Michael Jordan's, Allen Iverson's, Jalen Rose. I'm calling names. I'm sorry, but not just athletes, because I want a franchise down here in South Florida. So Rick Ross, Will Smith, what? Viva la Miami, right? Right, Will Smith? Viva la Miami. So how about you drop a team down here? Like, you realize this? Pitbull, all of you guys. Why aren't you guys? See, and I get it. See, and I get it, right? Sometimes the light bulbs don't click. And I tell people this story all the time. Right, when it came to me, I'm invested into one of my portfolios. We're trying to buy a couple of stocks, right? Looking into one of my portfolios years ago, right? Probably thinking about 6 years ago. This is before partial shares actually became a thing. Right, so anytime I bought a share, I had to buy whole shares. And when I was investing, I was trying to buy a certain amount. I think the denomination was 7 shares of each company I was buying into for the first portfolio I bought. And I remember looking for EA Sports. And I say this full disclosure because I want everybody to understand like how little money that I started saving. I think I was saving for that portfolio. I was saving like $50 every 2 weeks. I was putting like another $50 in here. I was putting another $50. I was building like 4 portfolios at the same time. All right. And I remember looking for EA Sports as an investment. And I've told the story on the podcast before. I remember looking for EA Sports as an investment. And when I couldn't find, and EA Sports, what's going on, Poe? EA Sports just happened to be a little too far out of my price range. But looking for EA Sports, I found 2K Sports. Or Take-Two Interactive, who owns 2K and Grand Theft Auto. And I thought to myself, well, this franchise isn't quite where EA is at yet, but I fully see them get into that sport because I can get into them young and low. And wait till they get to the point where EA is at. And get that return. It's the same thing with investing into the WNBA. Versus trying to buy an NBA team. Or an NFL team. Or a Major League Baseball team. These teams are already selling for $4 billion. You guys haven't even earned $4 billion yet. But WNBA teams are selling for $500 million. You guys have signed $500 million in contracts. Right now, LeBron James has a Sprite contract worth more than WNBA franchises. Listen to me here. I'm not making this shit up. But yet you talk all that shit to my, oh, you want to help women's sports. And oh, you want to help them progress. And oh, you want to be part of ownership. And oh, you want to own a team. Well, why don't you put A and B together and see what comes out? Fucking with ducks over here, baby. Sick of sipping my yak. Let me slow down before I spill this shit. I'm just saying, you guys wanna honor Kobe? Do it that way. Start buying WNBA franchises. Start opening WNBA franchises in your city. Start helping the WNBA expand so that more women. Oh, she's right. She's sitting in front of me playing Grand Theft Auto. My queen is right in front of me playing Grand Theft Auto. Poe saying hi, Shugs. Say hi. Say it louder so she can hear you.
Hello. I'm focused right now.
Yeah, she's running over people with her car.
Basically. That's what it is.
This is funny, right? Because I had Grand Theft Auto 5 on disc, right? For forever. And I was trying to download it. I'm gonna come back. Actually, you know what? Let me not get too far off. I want to make sure that this segment doesn't get interrupted. Right? I'll write that down though. GTA 5 story. So all you NFL players, NBA players, Major League Baseball players, especially you NBA players, right? You're talking about you want to start your generational wealth. You want to go down this other road of buying these fans. And I see all you guys want ownership because, and the reason why I know you do, because you're buying 0.1% of the Utah Jazz. Dwayne Wade, instead of taking your money and store it in a women's professional basketball team back down here. Why? Why are you invested into Utah instead of Wade County? Or Chicago. Well, Chicago already got a WNBA team. You could have tried to buy the Chicago WNBA team. You want 0.1% of Utah. What's wrong with this youth? Huh? Tell you, Gabrielle Union, I got those nostrils wide open. This nigga's over here wearing capris and getting fucked in the ass. Can't see straight anymore. Hey, it's the truth though. She did not deny that he be getting pegged. She basically said she be pegging his. I know I'm not the only person that heard that, right? That Gabrielle Union basically said that she be pegging Dwayne Wade. Which listen. I don't know. You know what? I'm not gonna go this far. I'm not gonna go as far as I'm gonna go. But I'm just gonna say that if your children walked in on you getting pegged, it may sway on how they screw her or view sexual lines. I'm just saying it could be a thing. It could be a thing. And that's all I'm gonna say about that. And very lightly in jest, right? Because I have no clue what the fuck I'm talking about there. But I do want to stay on topic and on point. Basketball players, football players, baseball players. This money is coming out too ridiculously now. You guys are signing $250 million contracts left and right. And that's just with your basketball. That's with your sports money. You guys have been signing $250 million shoe deals, $250 million sneaker deals, $250 watch. Sorry, shoe and sneakers the same shit, but $250 watch deals, $250 million apparel deals, $250 million automobile deals. Like you've been getting that money somewhere. So you've had the money to buy a WNBA franchise. And I know a lot of you guys are trying to do little things like start your own gym and do this and do that. Go buy a WNBA franchise. You want to do what these owners have done? You want to be like those owners? Find a league that's young and still cheap. Invest your money into it and popularize it. And then when you popularize it, you'll be able to monetize from it. Are you guys not learning anything from these fucking owners that you have access to? Or are you just complaining about your playing time or your load management? And you ain't seeing the roses right in front of your fucking face. You over here trying to backlash against the man all the goddamn time. You ain't realize that the man left the back door for you to fuck. You over here beating off. I'm just saying. Keep rubbing one out. They ain't gonna let you in the door. But they left the back door for you to come in.
Shade.
So if you want to honor Kobe, really honor Kobe, go buy WNBA franchises. Go help the WNBA expand. Because I'm pretty sure he didn't get to that point of his process yet when he was talking to some of y'all. He was probably going to be the first one to do it. Does Philadelphia have a WNBA team? I don't think they do. I can't remember. I'm trying to think right now. So let's think. Like once he would have done that, everybody would have followed suit. Oh, damn, how can I get in on this? Oh, shit, I ain't even think about this. Oh, damn. Go on a WNBA team. I would love to see it. Like, you understand? I would watch LeBron James's own WNBA team just to hate against them. But also to see what he's doing as an owner. I'll be interested to see what all of these guys are doing as an owner to help popularize women's sports. Period. Because on top of it, I understand you're trying to get that money, but you know what you're doing? You're helping to popularize women's sports because they never would have had people of popular backing with your names on it. Think about that as well. Your name can help popularize a whole industry. And then you can profit from it 15, 20 years down the road. Like these owners have, buying teams for $2 million and then selling them for $1.2 billion. Dumbo. I'm not calling you stupid. I'm just referring to the place in New York. No, but you heard Jay-Z's line. He could have invested into Dumbo for like 1.2 million before it was Dumbo. Now it's worth like 7.5 million. How does he feel? Dumbo. I'm just saying. I don't have that kind of money, but it sounds like the same shit to me. Buying a WNBA team sounds like investing into Dumbo before that shit became popularized. Investing into a WNBA team sounds like the move to do before it becomes popularized, before it turns from 12 teams to 30-team franchise. Be one of those people that owns one of those franchises. Own it now. Get in there now. $500 million. If that was...
What happened? Look.
Go to the TV and hit enter.
I did.
Well, hit it again until you actually hit it. Now move the thing out of the ray of the sensor. And now try hitting enter. There you go. Look at you. That's my baby. She's always two steps ahead of me and one step behind. Which means that she's always a step ahead of me. All right, so let's go ahead and continue this podcast in steps, folks. Because as you know, folks, I always like to stay with my next talk. Oh my God, I'm gonna hate next talk on Friday. I am really gonna hate Knicks talk on Friday. But the New York Knicks, folks, the last time that we spoke, they had a game against the Cleveland Cavaliers. It was a close game that the New York Knicks lost 95-93 to push their record of 23-25, still keeping them outside of the postseason and also fifth in their division, folks. Also remember, they share a division with Brooklyn, with Philly, with Toronto, and with Boston. We're like the Sacramento Kings of our division. It don't matter how good we do. Look who the fuck is in our division. That's a little reality check to keep me from crying over here. The New York Knicks. Stop me if you heard this before. The New York Knicks fell down by almost 20 points in this game. Yeah. But you see that, right? They lost only by 2. New York Knicks was once again a model of inconsistency, folks. That's probably the most consistent thing I've been able to say about the New York Knicks this year is that they have been consistently inconsistent. They have been a roller coaster ride, not just from one game to the next, but from one quarter to the next. In one quarter they're up by 20, and the next they're down by 5. The third quarter, they're exchanging the lead 17 times, and then in the fourth quarter with 2 minutes left, they have no clue how to execute. The New York Knicks are a walking headache. If I hadn't already caught one heart attack, they would have given me my first. Actually, I'm pretty sure they are the reasons why I caught my first heart attack. Is being a goddamn Knicks and Jets fan. Don't do it. Listen here, young people. If you cannot be a Knicks and Jets fan at the same time, save yourself the heartache. Go listen to everybody else that's been a Knicks and Jets fan. They have nothing nice to say about life. You don't want to be one of those. You definitely don't want to be Knicks, Jets, Mets. You understand? Cut that cord somewhere. Go Yankees. It's the only place. It's basically what it ends up being. The Yankees end up being your safe place. It ends up being your happy place. When things are going bad everywhere else, you can curl up with a little ball and you can be like, Derek Jeter. Derek Jeter. 5 rings, 5 top, 5 top, 5 top, 5 top, 5 top. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's the place you go to forget about it all. But because the New York Knicks have been putting up some forgettable performances as of late, and it's not looking good. And the thing about it is that they're wasting some really good performances from some of their young people. As we see again, R.J. Barrett putting up another game where he scores well over 20 points for the month of January. If I'm not mistaken, he has upped his points per game average to just about 21.8 points per game. If I'm not mistaken. So you see him getting up there, folks. Just to let you know, this has been some of the performances that R.J. Barrett has put up and also led the team in scoring in, right? 32 points, 19 points, 31 points, 32 points, 26 points, 18, 28, and then in the loss against Cleveland, 24. The one good thing I guess I can say that I see is that R.J. Barrett is finding his niche. But that's probably the only good thing that I can possibly say about this New York Knicks team. It gets really difficult to watch them play when the inconsistency is so fluid. It's so painstaking. Like I feel like I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan. Like I'm just riding on every single thing they do just to know that they're gonna break my heart at the end. It absolutely sucks. Absolutely, positively fucking sucks. And the fact that they lost on Monday means that the New York Knicks probably won't get a victory this whole entire week. Folks, they lose to Cleveland. And once again, everybody here is certified. You understand? This week we played Cleveland, Miami, and Milwaukee. Cleveland, certified, top 6 in the East. Miami, certified, number 1 in the East, if I'm not mistaken. Let's go pull up the standings. Alright, and then we also play the Milwaukee Bucks, the former champions. I'm just saying, right, that things aren't. This week was already going to be a difficult week. If we were going to get a victory anywhere, and probably was going to be from Cleveland. They were the team that we had the best opportunity to possibly beat, and we even threw that away. Cleveland Cavaliers right now are 4th in the East, actually, above Milwaukee. We're behind Miami. As I said, Miami is number 1 in the East with a record of 30-17. Once that Knicks game is over, I think they'll be improving their record to 31-17. The New York Knicks will be falling to 23-26, and they may now be falling from that 11th spot, depending on how things look, to that 12th spot behind the Atlanta Hawks. Yes, folks, the Atlanta Hawks are also on the outside looking in. Currently, the current playoff picture for the East goes as follows. Miami Heat at number 1. The Chicago Bulls with the 2 spot. They have the Brooklyn Nets. Brooklyn's at number 3. Cleveland, this is for you at number 4. Milwaukee, this is for you at number 5. We got the Philadelphia at number 6. We got the Charlotte Hornets at number 7. Raptors at number 8, Boston Celtics at number 9, and the Washington Bullets at number 10, folks. And that is currently how the playoff picture is currently looking for the East. And like I said, the New York Knicks are going to be losing their 2nd straight game. The Atlanta Hawks are on a 5-game winning streak, so the Atlanta Hawks are probably going to go ahead and leapfrog the New York Knicks as it currently stands. Things are going to get crazy for the top, but let's not get too far ahead there yet, right? Like I said, again, the New York Knicks had an opportunity. The New York Knicks had an opportunity to win this game, and like I said, even after even after Cleveland blew this game wide open and they had to fight back just to make this a respectable game, the New York Knicks took the lead for a while. The New York Knicks had a 9-point lead at one point in time in this game, and they even blew that. And the New York Knicks even have another pattern that is starting to become bothersome, and it's a bothersome pattern because it is somewhere where you think is the easiest place to get buckets, and that is from the free throw line, folks. The New York Knicks have been struggling from the free throw line as of late. Even R.J. Barrett in that game, 10 free throws, he makes 5 of them. You realize this was a 2-point game, folks. This was a 2-point game, and the New York Knicks left 12 points on the line. So you're basically telling me you make three of those free throws, and this is a game winner, chicken dinner. In retrospect. And can I also ask for that? Because like I said, currently tonight the New York Knicks are playing the Miami Heat, and we were supposed to be watching this game at the bar, and I'm glad I wasn't at the bar watching this game because I'm all Knicks geared up, and I'm pretty sure that it was gonna be a Heat fan that came same shit to me, and I am not in the mood for it right now, especially during my Knicks talk right now. Like, I am really not in the mood for the shits. I'm barely in the mood for the giggles, right? But real talk, right? Let's get into a little bit Florida, man. Right? A little bit of Florida, man. Just a little bit, right? A little early Florida, man. Right? What's a Florida man sounder? $305? $754? $954? $504? Is that $504? $904? Wherever you're for. Florida man is for you. So, yeah, let's go ahead. As the New York Knicks are playing the Miami Heat, I get curious and I'm wondering, are the Miami Heat underrated this year? And I know it's weird, right? Because I've been down here for a couple of years, right? And I've watched this Miami Heat team go from a team of nobodies. You're wondering, like, damn, I didn't even know some dude from the Flintstones was playing in the league. To now, damn near everybody on that Miami Heat squad is a household name. You can at least name 5-6 players on that squad, household name. Jimmy Butler, household name. Kyle Lowry wasn't on that team, but household name. We're talking about Bam Adebayo at this point in time, household name. Duncan, household name. Damn, I'm forgetting his name. The kid that Tyler Hero, household name by this point in time. At least if you're a basketball fan, household names. And these were nobodies years ago. I remember when these guys were absolute nobodies. And yet here they are, Miami Heat, sitting at the #1 spot in the East. And granted, the East is wide open. You heard me just spit out those standings, folks. They ain't pretty. I mean, we got a couple of surprises in there. Chicago Bulls, surpriser. Cleveland Cavaliers, surpriser. Washington Wizards, kind of surprised. We thought Indiana was going to be better. Atlanta was going to be better. New York was going to be better. But there goes 3 spots automatically taken just like that. Only one team in the East has not gotten into double. Actually, only one team in the league hasn't gotten a double-digit win so far, and that's the Orlando Magic. And the fucked up thing about that, the New York Knicks have lost to the Orlando Magic twice already this season. We still with some Florida man shit. We talking about Orlando over here when Magic happens. So I wonder now, are the Miami Heat getting their due respect? Because I listen. I consume a lot of shit. And who I don't hear enough about are the Miami Heat. I don't hear enough about the Miami Heat. I don't hear enough about Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo. I don't hear enough about what their players are doing, the effort that's going off. It's based and the fucked up thing about it, right, is that this team was just in a championship series 2 years ago. They were the team that the Los Angeles Lakers were struggling to beat in the bubble. They're the team that the Los Angeles Lakers are lucky that they had that stretch, that they had that break, so that they can rehab Anthony Davis to be able to beat the Miami Heat. They were just there 2 years ago. They can't get any love. See, this is that shit. That's that shit I don't like. That's that shit I don't like. Because not for nothing, right? I don't know about y'all, but Miami should be considered. If they're not considered a major market, they're damn near there. Like, what do you want to call it? A major market? Like I said, who the fuck does it? Like Vegas and Miami. I'm sorry, who the fuck isn't trying to go to Vegas or Miami? Who the fuck don't know about Vegas or Miami? Everybody knows about Vegas and Miami the same way you talk about New York, Boston, Chicago, LA, Texas, Vegas, Miami. Like I just said with Will Smith, Viva la Miami. Me love a Miami. Cheers to those Miami Nights. For real. Those Miami Nights, sunglasses and Advil. Miami Nights was mad real. You know, so it throws me off that damn Miami that even though I'm not a Miami Heat fan, I at least want to hear about them so I could be like, yo, why the fuck are you talking about that? Like, so I can at least hate on them. But they're not even getting enough love for me to hate on, which means now I gotta show them love because they're being hated on when they should be getting love. I've heard more Kevin Love talk with the Cleveland Cavaliers than I've heard with the Miami Heat. These were LeBron James' last two destinations. You're telling me once LeBron James left and these teams are doing good, they can't even get an honorable mention. Not number one, but number two. You get an honorable mention. They can't get one of those? That's still one of my favorite Drake songs. Honorable mention. And also Side Pieces. Probably two of my favorite Drake songs. Only because they're comedies, right? Only because they're comedies. Like it's probably like why I enjoy Jamie Foxx. Like his comedic style of singing in a way. Cause even when he's trying to be serious, I always picture him. You know what I mean? So I wonder, for real, is are the Miami Heat not getting enough love? Because Jimmy Butler just did something that apparently just got unmentioned. Apparently just went by the wayside. And we ain't talking about Jimmy the G over there, right? We're talking about Jimmy the B. Jimmy broke one of LeBron's records. Jimmy Butler broke LeBron James's triple-double record. Hold on one sec. Give me the... Shout out to Angie Martinez, one of my favorite disc jockeys of all time. I don't know, it's something about hearing Angie Martinez's voice over the airways back in them days. You know what I mean? So, Jimmy Butler has recently broke LeBron James' triple-double record with a total of 10, folks. Yes, 10. That's all it was. In LeBron James' 4 years in his prime, 82 games, he put up 10 triple-doubles. Sorry, 9. 9 triple-doubles in 4 years. That's basically 2 per year. And I remember LeBron James is supposed to be this athletic, freakish specimen over there. Less than 2% body fat, millions of dollars recovering. Triple double, machine broken. That's why Russ out here getting more triple doubles than him. At half his size. But 3 times his heart. And a third of his common sense. I'm sorry, I shoots them fires. So Jimmy Butler, what, in 3 years? It's been 3 years? Not even 3 years. We're talking about this year, last year, and the bubble year? And last year was a short year too? So LeBron James basically Jimmy Butler may have done in 180 games that it took LeBron James 240 to do. 320 days to do, games to do. So big up to the boy Jimmy. I'm breaking one of LeBron James's records, right? Ayo, DJ MyT, go ahead and cut that from the original. All right, so big up to Jimmy Butler on the breaking the record, and ayo, something's gotta give because the Miami Heat is not sitting number 1 in the East, and you know what? And maybe not just the Miami Heat alone, the whole entire East needs to get more burned because there needs to, and maybe because it's football going on right now, we're in the playoffs. So maybe once football stops, that this rat race, this crabs in a barrel race that we got going on in the East will get highlighted a little bit more. Because 1 week we're talking about Miami's number 1. Then another week we're talking about Chicago was number 1. Beginning of the season, beginning of the year, the New York Knicks were number 1. We're talking about one point in time the Washington Wizards were number 1. We're talking about Brooklyn was number 1 at one point. Cleveland, Milwaukee, Philly, every single one of these teams was number 1 at one point in time. We've had 7 different number 1 teams in the East this year. At minimum. It ain't being talked about how crazy it is. How crazy it is. Yo, when I tell you that shit is crazy. Like, you don't understand that you can't take a day off and think that, okay, you know what? I'm not gonna pay attention to the standings right now. I feel pretty secure that this team is that this team is gonna be number 1. No. You let a day pass. And 3 different teams would have been number 1.
Y'all, that shit was crazy, you know what I
mean? Something different. So, and speaking of something different, right, let's take it back to the LQ real quick, right? Let's take it to Union Square. Let's take it down to the boogie, down to Brooklyn. Let's take it to Manhattan, LA. Let's move your hands like you just don't care. Let's take it back to New York for a second, right? Because I didn't mean to leave here before I got my next talk. None. Guys, I'm gonna tell you something, and you have to understand that what I'm about to tell you is because of how spectacular the numbers are, right? And this kind of spectacularism does not often happen. Last time I was this excited by numbers in a 1 week time frame was when it was related to marijuana and what Colorado was able to take advantage of when they legalized weed. Where they thought they were gonna make like $25 million over the first 5 years, and in the first year they made 80. New York has finally legalized gambling, right? What we just saw was the end of the first official week of them allowing gambling. In 1 week of gambling, can you take a guess of how much money was spent on gambling in 1 week in New York, Shugs?
$1 billion.
You're pretty close. Thank you for giving me a nice realistic number. $603 million in 1 week. So what you're telling me is that This is going to be an easy $2.5 billion industry a month. This is $603 million, and everybody even didn't even get their gambling on yet. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know it's gonna come in waves. People are skeptical. They haven't gotten their apps done yet. People are out of town. They're not. You understand? Like, you still have a wave of people that haven't done it yet. But based off of this alone, we're talking about gambling. It's going to be and the reason why I bring this up, because gambling has been illegal in New York for God knows how long, and people in New York have had to do simple shit where let's just go over a bridge, pay a $25 toll to go over a bridge over to New Jersey so that they could put in their gambling or put in their bets. That's literally what people are doing, walking over that state line real quick, putting their bets, and then coming back over. And every time they did that, the state of New Jersey was benefiting. 1 week, $603 million. Times by 4, 2.4. We're going to round that up a little bit, 2.5. $2.5 billion. That's $5 billion every 2 months. And I broke that down so that we could go the next route. It's $5 billion every 2 months. There's 12 months in a year. That's $60 billion. They're going to get at bare... And let's go ahead and put this on the board. Let's go ahead and put this one on the board. Right? Because the numbers say $60 billion. I'm telling you right now, as we talk and we stand, right, that they're going to break $100 billion by the end of this year. I guarantee you. You understand? And they got this right on time, too. Because we're talking about the football playoffs just started. We still got, oh my God. Okay. They did $603 million in their first month, in their first week, right? Now, we're just gonna talk about projected. So projected, we're talking about 2.5 in a month, which means literally 60 billion in a year. We figure they're easily gonna break. I honestly think they're easily gonna break 120 billion. To be honest with you, that they're gonna break 120 billion dollars. Now let's keep an eye on and see what they actually do, because you know these numbers are gonna come waving in. They're gonna keep coming in. Now, what I end up just realizing, that we're still in the playoffs of football, and this has just gotten started. We haven't bet on the Super Bowl yet, when there's a ton of money that comes in. March Madness and the NCAA tournament is coming around the corner. They haven't started to bet on that yet. NBA playoffs is coming around. They haven't bet on that yet. Like, you understand what I'm saying here? There's a couple of prize fights coming up. Canelo Alvarez is supposed to be... he's in the works of signing a contract to fight one or two guys. You see what I'm talking about over here? Like, this is $603 million on their first week. And we know the numbers are just gonna go up and up. Like, $603 million 1 week may be the low ball. It may easily start breaking $1.7 billion a week. Don't be surprised if you hear the end, like, they're averaging $1.7 billion, which is gonna completely block the numbers that I was thinking about. Damn. Is that right? I think my numbers was off. No, I'm right. That's 2.5 billion a month. 600 billion for a year. I project 120 billion. They're gonna get past. And I'm telling you right now, they're gonna pretty soon pull up 1.7 bill a week. It's gonna be too easy. I'm telling you, it's gonna be too easy. You're gonna hear this being, yeah, I think I'm just about right with that. I think I'm okay with saying this. This is going to be a $2.5 billion industry a month. And it's taking New York all this time. So you realize how much revenue is coming into New York recently? Because they just legalized marijuana and they just legalized gambling. You're talking about billions of dollars of revenue, taxable revenue, coming in every single month. And New York is getting 50% of that. 50% of that. They're the only city getting 50%. But they wanted to get into New York so bad they took the high rates. Because they realized, that old math equation that they used to give you, right? If that if you had a pie, if you had, they said like if you had a, you know what I'm trying to say, right? The bigger the pie that you're able to take. I don't even think this is a math equation. I think this is more like a business. This is more like a business management equation. But that bigger portion of the pie may get a bigger percentage because you know what, your numbers just flood out everybody else's. Where in Minnesota, you may be saying, oh, you only get 10% because you need that 90% from them, because they don't have the numbers. I'm gonna say South Dakota. But when it comes to New York, you're like, okay, you can take 50% of revenue because we just want to get into your market. Get it into your market, and even at a 50% split, still gives us more money than we're getting in most areas. Still gives us more money than South Dakota, North Dakota, Utah and Colorado all together. Like, you understand? Like, getting into New York at 50% may mean the equivalent of 6 other states. So they're like, yeah, we'll take that deal. Because also for them 6 other states, when they finally get there, those guys aren't gonna get that. They're gonna get that low. They're gonna get those low numbers. So I just thought that was interesting that those betting numbers are finally coming into New York. Now speaking about betting on New York, right? Or betting in New York. There was one James Harden, right? One James Harden who's been interviewed by the media lately, and they're talking about several things, right? And one of the things that they've been pressing him about is his overall happiness with the franchise and with New York. And he expressed that he is a little frustrated because everybody isn't there for whatever reason. Injuries, COVID, whatever, everything isn't copacetic. Now, Harden and Kyrie Irving haven't signed the extension yet. So at the end of the season, they may leave. Now, Knicks fans, I'm not saying anything about him coming to the Knicks. I'm just saying that he likes the big stage and being the man on the big stage. And even though and just like I was talking about how it seems like the Heat aren't getting enough love, sometimes, listen, when it comes to in the New York market, I don't know how they are the rest of the world, the Brooklyn Nets don't get enough love. And the Brooklyn Nets may get talked about everywhere else. Brooklyn Nets don't get talked about enough in New York. Even for what they're doing. Even for how good they've been. Even for the stars that they have. They're just the team in the city right now. Because I told you, they can't be mad. You can't have these 3 guys and be basically damn near even with Philly. You can't have these 3 guys and be worse than Miami. You can't have these 3 guys and be worse than Chicago. I don't care. What we have seen, that when the stars of the stars align, they do great shit. Let me say this again. When the true stars align, they do great shit together. And that fire, desire to chase after greatness while on this team was never there. The motivation to chase. This team wants to win a championship, yes. This team doesn't want to be great. See, there's a difference. This team they all want to get a ring. They have never once said they want to be considered the greatest team ever. Like I said, when the greats of the greats, when the stars of the stars align, we get a big bang. We get greatness. Think about it. Let's go back a little. Magic in his time with his Lakers, 30+ game win streak if I'm not mistaken. You knew they were not just going to win a championship, they were going down as one of the greatest teams in history. Michael Jordan, when he went through his era, that one season, 72 and 10, yes, that shit was fire. But they also went on a ridiculous winning streak. We knew that team was not just going to win a championship, that team was going to go down in greatness. Then we had Shaq and Kobe. They put together a ridiculously long winning streak that we had to count every single day to see if they were going to start getting towards there. Getting towards that 33 number. And even though all of them don't get to that 33 number, they all go on some kind of significant run like that. Now, even though if they're going to win a championship or not, we know, you know what this team is doing? They are chasing greatness. They're not just trying to be a champion. They're trying to chase greatness. When the Boston Celtics got their big three of Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, and Ray Allen, they just didn't go and be champions. They sought after greatness. Again, one of the league's longest winning streaks. One of them. You understand? All of these teams put together one of the league's longest winning streaks. So what cheat codes did you use and get? I'm curious. I want to hear about it. Tell us. Everybody on Grand Theft Auto does it. Nobody plays Grand Theft Auto straight up. It's all about the cheat codes and the mods.
Well, none of them got me any money, so I didn't use them.
Oh, you didn't? Yeah, cause there should definitely be one for Endless Bank. I know they always have a big bank one. But definitely make sure that you get the ones that give you the tank and the Spider-Man and all that other shit and the bulletproof vest and the Superman cape and the kryptonite and all that good shit so you can't die. Oh shit. Oh, they pull you out the car. Oh, you got carjacked. Oh, you just got jacked, fool. You're dead. So they all went after greatness and again, I'll give these guys their credit when credit is due. The LeBron James team that was in Miami, they also went on one of the league's longest winning streaks. Because we knew and we realized that they weren't just trying to be champions, they were chasing after greatness. Then again, with Stephen Curry's teams in Golden State, how hard they were playing, the runs they went on. You knew they weren't just trying to be champions, they were chasing after greatness. This Brooklyn Nets team, I've never once thought they were chasing after greatness. I said this here, that what's gonna really make this team stick out, they're going to have to win 2 championships back to back, and at some point in time, they're going to have to go on one of the longest winning streaks in the league. Not the longest winning streak in the league. One of the longest winning streaks in the league. So they're going to have to win like 20 straight games. Show their dominance. Show their greatness. Put their thumb on their back, on everybody's back every single day and say, yo, your arms are too short to box with guys. Get the fuck out of my court, son. Put them in the bathroom. There's already somebody in the bathroom. Put them in the bathroom again. They all play like shit. Line them up, they knock them down. Brooklyn. But this team was never chasing greatness. They just wanted to be champion eventually. They just wanted to come to Brooklyn and show that they could win a championship together outside of LeBron James. They were never chasing greatness. So, if you wonder why Brooklyn Nets aren't being... Because even now, like, you wonder why the Brooklyn Nets aren't being talked about enough, especially in your own New York market, is because you're kind of just going through the motions of playing to win a championship. You're not out there chasing greatness. You're not out there trying to put together the longest winning streaks in NBA history. You're not out there trying to put up the most points. You understand? You're not out there trying to... No. You're out there trying to win a championship. And I get it. That's cute. Everybody's trying to win a championship. But if you want to talk, if you want to be talked about, you better start. You better start trying to achieve great shit. This is the NBA. Everybody's good. Can you be great? So now James Harden is in a weird conundrum where the guys that he is with, he don't know if he wants to be with them anymore, and you can hear it. And while he has not come out and said that he is happy with, that he is frustrated with everything that's going on there, he hasn't said that he's completely happy. He sounds as if he chose the wrong New York market. It sounds as if...
Don't you regret not coming to the Knicks?
Because James Harden right now is basically in Brooklyn doing what he did in Houston. Without any of the recognition. But with all of the weight. All of the hate. And that's not what he came here for. He came here with team up with two guys to possibly do some great things. Didn't realize that these two other guys just wanted to win a championship and one guy barely wanted to be here. One guy just wanted to hoop, bro. But not wanted to hoop enough to sacrifice for the team. To sacrifice for the greatness of the team. So when you wonder about why Brooklyn Nets aren't talked about more often, it's because they're no better than the Miami Heat. They're no better than the Chicago Bulls. They're no better than the Cleveland Cavaliers. They're no better than the Milwaukee Bucks. They're no better than Philly. They're right along with them. I understand Joel Embiid is out there doing great things. But James Harden, he hasn't signed that extension yet. So, Knicks fans, I'm not trying to tell you to go ahead and get your hopes up. But what I am telling you that there's a market coming out this free agency. There's a hell of a market coming out this free agency. And two names, if I'm you, that I'm probably locked in on, it may be James Harden and Bradley Beal. Both of those guys look like they want a new location. Now, Bradley Beal, I heard him talk recently. I don't know how much he wants to leave. There's a thing about when he talks, he sounds like Damian Lillard. And when he talks with an understanding of a franchise that drafts you, that's willing to try to continue to build around you to the end like Kobe. Versus leaving your franchise like Allen Iverson did and now just becoming another piece in Denver. Another piece... Fuck, I forgot where else he went to after Denver. You know, or like Dwayne Wade. and becoming another failed piece in Cleveland or another failed piece in Chicago, only to be like, damn, I should have never left home. Bradley Beal talks from a person that has that perspective on the NBA business side of things. So I don't know how. I would not be surprised if he gets all the way to the end and he decides to stay in Washington. But James Harden's gone. I'm telling you guys right now, whether they win one or not, I think James Harden is gone. I think he's done. I think if they win one, he'll probably be convinced to come back and try to run it back. Because obviously, you know, the run back. Which means he's got to sign like a 2-year contract. It's probably going to be like a 1-and-1. But other than that, let them not win. Yeah, even if they win, I think there's still a 30% chance that James Harden bounces. And if he bounces, I get curious of where he's gonna go, because my thing is that you're probably gonna go one of a few places where you know you going there is gonna help that franchise go over the top, or is gonna help you be over the top. So you either go back home to Houston, or you go to or you go across that bridge and you go play for the Knicks, and you get the spotlight that you deserve in New York, or you go play for Philly, and you and Joel Embiid become two of the most skilled motherfuckers on the court, big to little, that we have ever seen. Like, goddamn. Like regardless of what you can say about them, but their basketball IQ and skill level will be ridiculous for a big man shooting guard combination, especially in today's game. That inside outside. Whew. So, as soon as the Super Bowl is over, obviously, is when we'll rant. Was when the national media, sexy ass, is when the national media will pick more into basketball, and that's when we'll probably hear a lot more of these stories start to unfold. Don't you guys forget, even before the Super Bowl, though, the Super Bowl is what, February 13th? NBA trade deadline is February 10th. February 10th. And listen, I know that there's going to be Super Bowl week. I'm hoping for a big enough splash that can steal NFL headlines for 24 hours on that day. I'm here for the chaos. Let's remember that. I'm here for the chaos. Speaking of chaos, right? We've been talking about some great players recently, right? You heard me talk about Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, Ray Allen. You heard me even mention Patrick Ewing, Akeem Olajuwon, Shaq, Kobe, Vince Carter, Allen Iverson. Right? You heard me mention a lot of these guys. And what a lot of these guys definitely have in common, even LeBron James, you heard me mention Dwayne Wade, these guys will get there. Ooh. Look at that. Damn, you could have just opened the door? You had to break the Batmobile?
It's called an Infernus.
That's the Batmobile. Okay. Looks like my Blackmobile in my other game. So, a lot of these guys do have one thing in common. And that is, they're all, a lot of them are Hall of Famers. They're all great players, but a lot of them are Hall of Famers. Well, very recently, baseball released their latest Hall of Fame class. And I guess, you know what? I guess this can be like our chill or no chill like segment of our segment of the day, because I'm gonna honestly say, baseball fucked up here. Like, baseball fucked up and they showed their true colors. Because in this Hall of Fame, right, we had, in this Hall of Fame class, was the last years for Barry Bonds, Sammy Sosa, and Roger Clemens. And for the first time ballot was Big Papi Dave Ortiz. And as you guys know, for the guys like Barry Bonds, Sammy Sosa, Roger Clemens, that had been there last year, that they will require 75% of any kind of voter for them to be able to make it, right? And these guys have not been inducted into the Hall of Fame as of yet due to their ties with steroids. Whether it was proven or not is because of their ties with steroids. And I'm telling you, I don't like what happened here today. They have spent the best part of the decade keeping out Barry Bonds, Sammy Sosa, and Roger Clemens out of the Hall of Fame. And they didn't let any one of those guys in. None of them got in. Even though I'm going to tell you that out of all of the steroid people, there was one person that they constantly said that, nah, even without the steroids, this dude was a bona fide Hall of Famer. Everybody knows this. And that's one Barry Bonds. But everybody also says that Barry Bonds was an asshole to the media. Roger Clemens was an asshole to the media, and Sammy Sosa chose to speak English at his discretion. Bleach up the skin, bleach them. Right? So they haven't let those three guys in. Now remember I told you, it wasn't fully. You were caught with steroids. You had implications tying you to steroids. Not everybody was caught with steroids. And now even today, you hear the verbiage that they use to justify David Ortiz is that, oh, he was part of that group that their test results were never supposed to become positive. But so was Barry Bonds. And in that group, there were also some false positives that they also never fully investigated. That's the reason, and the reason they never fully investigated because it was never supposed to come out. So they were never able to tell who out of that 10% had a false positive, and who out of. So basically, 10% of the people out of 9. Let's remember this, folks. 75% of the league basically was found guilty for steroids at that point in time. If I can't remember. 10% of them had a false positive. Out of all of those players. So now to justify David Ortiz, they don't know if he fell within that 10% that could have possibly had a false positive. Well, you could have said the same thing about Barry Bonds then. You could have said the same thing about Roger Clemens or Sammy Sosa then. Well, definitely Barry Bonds. You could have said the same shit about a lot of people whose careers got ruined doing implications due to that list. That got treated as guilty due to that list. But now, finally, when you want to let David Ortiz in, now this is the first time I'm ever hearing about this mystery 10%. This 10% of deniability. This 10% of reasonable doubt. It's the first time I'm hearing about this shit in 30 fucking years. Because now they want to utilize it to justify letting in David Ortiz. I'm telling you, baseball fucked up and they got this wrong. I'm not saying that they should have let in Barry Bonds, Sammy Sosa, Roger Clemens. I'm saying they should have not let in David Ortiz either. Leave them all out. Because now you know what was possibly going to happen? I see them possibly try to let in A-Rod. And A-Rod sued his team when he was wrong. And the reason why I say that, because it looks like if the media likes you, they're willing to turn that blind eye on you putting steroids up your dick hole. Or they willing to turn a blind eye of you chemically enhancing your body to cheat the sport. Let's put it in proper terminology. Like steroids leaves it too clean. Because I'm sorry, I had a tooth removed and they gave me steroids to help me recover. Steroids leaves it too clean. They shot a chemical into their body to physically cheat the game. Yet, because you all buddy with him, you a hockey kid with him, he bought you a couple of pizzas and a Rolex. You're like, oh, David, Hall of Fame, first ballot at that. Let this motherfucker wait for 5 years. Let him sweat. El Suete. None of that shit. First ballot? First fucking ballot? Wow. You know what? Y'all niggas is mad. I don't even like using the N-word like this much anymore. But y'all niggas is mad disrespectful. Y'all are mad disrespectful. Whole entire Major League Baseball. Completely fucking disrespectful. And you know what? I think I can say this safely. You consistently give me no reason to want to watch your sport. I'm trying to get KJ up in here. I see you trying to call in. You consistently give me no reason to want to watch your sport. Like this whole entire year, I've been wondering, like, or not even this whole entire year. Every time baseball does something, even when they try to do something positive, I keep asking you guys, what demographic are they trying to appease to? And it's never the kids. Field of Dreams. What demographic knows Field of Dreams? Again, I've given you this task already. You got kids. You guys got kids. Go ask what the fuck Field of Dreams are. Or they've seen... I guarantee you kids haven't even seen the Field of Dreams movie if you haven't showed it to them yet. If you haven't set them down and forced them to watch it. So how the fuck are they going to understand a Field of Dreams reference for baseball? None of that shit is nostalgic to them. So, David Ortiz, first ballot, Hall of Fuckery. And I say it's a Hall of Fuckery because I know what some of the conventional questioning is out there. Well, can you tell the story of baseball without mentioning this person? And can you tell the story of baseball without Barry Bonds? Can you tell the story of baseball without Sammy Sosa or Roger Clemens? What the fuck changed? But to answer your question, no, you can't tell the story of baseball. Still doesn't mean they need to get into the Hall of Fame. There's a baseball museum. You know that's that, right? There's a major league. There's a baseball museum that guys like Barry Bonds, Sammy Sosa, Roger Clemens, Pete Rose, all of these guys are represented in, highlighted in. Yes. See, that's what you guys don't understand. That when you hit it in the Hall of Fame, you act like they're erasing them from the story of baseball. They're not erasing them from the story of baseball. They're just not considered in the Hall of Fame story of baseball. That room is for somebody else. Look, I'm sorry. We know that Eli Manning beat Tom Brady twice, but we're not putting Eli Manning in the same room with Tom Brady. Eli Manning and Peyton Manning both share the same room, and they share the same room with Aaron Rodgers. Maybe. So, there's a baseball museum. You can tell their story in the baseball museum, and you can easily tell that story in the baseball museum. Barry Bonds at 73 home runs, steroids. Sammy Sosa, 68 home runs, 65, steroids. Roger Clemens, steroids. David Ortiz, steroids. In the baseball museum. And in the Hall of Fame, you put whoever the fuck you want to put in the Hall of Fame. You could put Buck O'Neal and Bud Fowler and Jim Cat and Tony Olivia and Gil Hodges into the Hall of Fame. But you know why you put Big Papi Ortiz? Because you knew when you put those 5 fuckers in the Hall of Fame, nobody was watching. That sounds like the most boring Hall of Fame I've ever heard of. That shit sound crunchy.
Oh, that's the foil. They got burnt.
Yes. Folks, also joining Big Papi David Ortiz into the Hall of Fame is Buck O'Neal and Bud Fowler, Jim Cat, Tony Olivia, and Gil Hodges. And to be honest with you, that Hall of Fame class would have been perfectly fine without disgusting cheater David Ortiz. Like you guys are disgusting, filthy, no good cheaters. I don't have no pity for you. I have no sympathy for you. I'm gonna tell you what my uncle told me. If you want sympathy from me, open up the dictionary, look between shit and syphilis. That's where you'll find sympathy. Sympathy. What were we talking about when we were talking about GTA a while ago, babes? What were we talking about when we were talking about GTA a while ago? I got your GTA 5. I got a GTA 5 star. I can't remember what GTA... Oh, GTA 5. So I finally got GTA 5 for my baby. But can I tell you, I had the disc for this game, right? I had the disc for this. Actually, before we get to our GTA story, you want to do the GTA story before or after the Blue Chew read?
Blue Chew first.
Blue Chew first? Listen, you gotta listen to the ladies, folks. Blue Chew first. What's Blue Chew, you ask? Blue Chew just happens to be a little blue pill that's able to get you back your thrill. All you gotta do is open up a pack and head straight to the sack. Just a few chews before you do, folks. This little thing has the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, so this is one opportunity that you just can't miss. She's gonna love how you come through like a champ, not a David Ortiz kind of champ, but like a real champ when you Blue Chew in advance by using. And if you use this week's promo code of GBKH, that's Golf Bravo Kilo Hotel, you can get your first order of Blue Chew for free on me. Yes, folks. The good folks at MyT. Now, you will be responsible for shipping and handling. Don't be cheap. Pay your postal workers. I don't got no control over that. Shout out to Guillermo. Been doing that shit for like 40 years now. So, Blue Chew. Let's chew it and do it. Only 2 requirements. Now, let me tell you this GTA story. So I've been trying to download GTA for about a month now. Seriously, how long has it been, baby? Like since I got the system, right?
Yeah.
Christmas, a month. Right? So almost about a month now. I've been trying to download GTA, and I got the disc for it. And for some reason, it just hasn't been going all the way through. It kept on stopping at like 2%, 4%. It's been very aggravating. So I finally tell myself, you know what? Actually, not myself, but you know, I'm over here with Sugars, and we talking. She's, hey, you know, she's asking me. She goes, babe, GTA. I go check. I'm like, hey, it ain't budge. Babe, GTA. Go check GTA, it ain't budge. Babe, GTA. Go check GTA, it ain't budge.
That's not how I fucking sound.
Hey, yo, babe, GTA. Like, yo. You know what I mean? So, I finally say, you know what? You know what, babes? I got you. The next time that GTA go on sale, the next time they have some ridiculous sale where, like, they're selling GTA for, like, 50% off or some shit like that, I'll go ahead and I'll cop it for you. So I'm like, you know what? Let me go. So like, as I said, let me go ahead, go to the App Store, and go add GTA to my wish list, so that if there's an update, it'll go ahead and send me a little notification. Well, guess what, folks? And I know GTA 5 is an old ass game. This game's like 7 years old already. I still had a game store when this store was out, when this game came out. And even then, when it was like, yo, they still selling this game for $50. I'm like, yeah, they still selling this game for $50. So I'm looking. So I go ahead and put it in my wish list, add it to the queue and shit. And no doubt, right now as we speak, if you have I don't know about you PlayStation people, but if you have an Xbox, GTA is on sale right now, 50%. So I'm like, well, goddamn. I guess I'm gonna have to be a man of my word and go ahead and get GTA for you today then. Right, like they said it, but $14.99. It was 50% off. This game is normally like $29.99 now these days. Damn, yeah. That shit's. No, it was $14.99 now, but it was 50, and it was like the deluxe. It was one of the deluxe editions, right? It was one of the deluxe editions or one premiere edition or some shit like that. $14.99 for everybody that's out there. $14.99 you'll be able to go ahead and grab yourself the GTA 5 online right now. So finally got that done. And instead of it taking now a month to download, it took 9 hours. I don't even think it took 9 hours because we didn't check to see how long it took. But we set that shit up when we went to sleep. Woke up this morning. Bada bing, bada boom. GTA in the room. How you doing? Now Sugars is over here playing GTA, and then it picked off wherever I left. But then, see the thing about it, right? It's so crazy because it was working on my other system. Because she was playing it on my other system, and the only reason why I even remember that she was even able to play it on the other system because it picked off where she was at from the other system, and I ain't know that shit. Like she knew that shit. She told me, right, Shugs? Yeah. Ain't that right, boo?
Sorry, I don't follow.
This is what you say. True. There we go. That's some Biggie shit. Spread love is the Brooklyn way. So, Ronnie, you're here. I kind of want you on the phone line if you got some headphones. But you're here. I'm gonna ask for some crowd participation from you. So, I don't think you was here for this portion of the podcast either. And I know if you can't join, I know you'll at least be able to type. Gambling was made officially legal in New York. The numbers came in from their first week of gambling. Can you guess how much money was spent on gambling in the first week? I'll let you guys go ahead and type that in, and we'll come back. Right? Just know that in your head, just play the Jeopardy song, right? And put an answer by the time that Jeopardy song is over. Oh, man. Well, I'm going to tell you something. Those two numbers are in it. Those two numbers are definitely in it. That's a little too high, KJ, but I guarantee you it's going to be $1 billion a week by the end of this month. 603 million. I told you those two numbers were in it, Ronnie. You said 30 million? $603 million in 1 week. And everybody don't even got that shit yet. You understand? $2.5 billion a month. And everybody don't even got that shit yet. Like, we're going to talk about you understand? When this is rolling, we're talking about $5 billion a month. And New York is taxing half of it. They're the only ones that was able to get a 50% tax on that shit. New York is taxing half of that shit. Now also put into the equation, they also just legalized marijuana, and they're getting in that tax. They're getting in that money too. I don't want to hear no complaints about New York needing money for construction or infrastructure. But also, Florida, what the fuck are you waiting for? Do you not see these numbers? You realize some of these numbers is because people got family in New York from Florida and they're calling up there to get these numbers in. So let's think. This is going to be a 5. When these numbers come at the end of the year, I will not be surprised if they say that they easily got over $100 billion from gambling. And that's me lowballing it. It's probably going to be somewhere around $250, $500 billion. because we still have Super Bowl, March Madness, NBA playoffs to bet on. Just think about that. Super Bowl, March Madness, or the NCAA tournament, period. And the NBA playoffs. And there's still some major fights that's supposed to happen. Canelo's supposed to fight somebody. Like, them shit ain't even happened yet. Like, think about that. Super Bowl ain't even happened yet. And we know how all those Fukakta, like, prop bets and everything comes in on the Super Bowl. Like, you understand? They about to break $150 billion on the Super Bowl alone. Easy. I would be surprised if they said $250 billion was spent in New York gambling for the Super Bowl. Damn. Holy shit. Honestly, as I'm thinking about it now, I wouldn't be surprised if they said that they made $1 trillion in gambling by the end of this year. Like, that's how big New York is. That's how much gambling goes on. and you understand? Once something is no longer illegal, then you have so many more common people coming out. You understand? It's like, it's basically right now that the lights have been off in a roach-infested house. Like, you about to turn the lights on, you're like, oh shit, like shit about to come out of the woodworks. Like, I didn't even know all this shit was here. Like, I didn't know this what all this crunching was. I think that might have been a bad analogy, but you know what I'm trying to say here. Like, motherfuckers have been scouring away every time, like anytime they heard about gambling. Now motherfuckers is about to be gambling with their chest open. You understand? We're talking about, you're gonna see chest beat with these gambles. Full-blown Italian chest hair. You know the kind of hair chest I'm talking about. That curly, light red shit. Oh, man. So, speaking of some curly, let's see, I will be doing the same for this weekend. Listen, yo, gambling, no doubt. I was like, I heard those numbers of 603 million, and I'm like, damn, everybody ain't even signed up yet. That's 603 million, and they took, and just think about this. A lot of that business used to go to Jersey. Man, if the Jets and the Giants don't bring their ass back to New York, we're gonna force them to change their motherfucking names. I'm sorry. Now that gambling and marijuana is legal again in New York, they need to have a petition. The Jets and the Giants need to come back. They need to come back. And if they're not back within 5 years, actually, if they're not back, wait, where's their contract up? If they're not back by 2025, we're calling them we're calling them the New Jersey Jets. And the New Jersey Giants. We're calling them Jersey, period. Say what you want. I know it sounds disgusting. It sounds disgusting, but they gotta leave. They gotta leave. I'm sorry. This like I've been an advocate where every time everybody asks me like, yo, it's for the real estate shit. But nah, that shit no longer flies. I no longer can accept that shit. Yeah, that shit is no longer acceptable. They need to leave. We got weed in New York. We got gambling in New York. We need the Jets and Giants back in New York. Y'all niggas need to come home, man. Come home. And they say you can't come back home. You know when you hear that? When you're back home. You hear that shit straight through the wire. Speaking of through the wire, I need a combination. I need a combination of things, right? I need a little bit of I need a little bit of KJ's love to see it. Wait a minute. Don't I have that? Wait a minute. Where is it at? I need a little bit of KJ's love to see it. But not only that, I need a little something for the ladies. I need a little something for the ladies too, because something has been going on. We had some big things going on. And now that I got KJ and Ron here, I'm gonna go back to a take that I mentioned earlier. All right, as I come into this segment over here, because there has been, I don't know, to me I don't know if I want to say there's a changing of the guard, but there's been some highlights, in the women's sports industry that I don't know if you guys have been paying attention. I mean, like I said, you understand, in the WNBA alone, we're talking about the possibility of the New York Liberty getting Breanna Stewart. If that alone don't start perking your ears up, then I don't know what to tell you. I obviously don't know what to tell you. But in this week's
Love to see it.
segment of the week, we have something for
Hey, ladies.
for the ladies, folks. And that is one Kansas State's Ayoka Lee, who has set an NCAA single game record with 61 points, folks. 61 points in a single game. NCAA, whatever. Women's basketball record. Women's college basketball record. Out there getting buckets. 23 for 30. 30 shots, folks, and she only missed 7. 12 rebounds. NCAA W. That just sounds weird. NCAA dub. But NCAA WB. They only had the WB. You know what? I'm gonna get that. You know what? I think I'm gonna have to use that drop myself. I'm just have to drop myself on that one. Only on the WB. Oh, as in women's basketball, that is. But definitely shout out to women's basketball on this one. 23 for.
Big old titties?
You can't even see titties in women's basketball. They have them shit so compressed you couldn't tell if anybody had a rack or not. You understand? The only time you pay attention to a rack in women's basketball is when they're showing off their championship trophy rack. Okay, that's the only time we care about racks in women's sports. Just to let you guys know. the audience is telling you to relax. Actually, not the audience. It's KJ. It's specifically KJ. Because he has the reporter tell you that. I can't say the audience because you'll cuss out the audience. It's KJ. Yeah, listen. The only person that ever noticed titties in the WNBA game is Mark, to be honest with you. Yo, that's...
You like them small titties, huh?
I just realized all the time he ever talks about women playing basketball, they need to dunk on each other and be like, titties. I'm like, what titties? That's just chest to chest. Okay, let me stop. All right, let me get back. So, definitely want to give a big shout out, big shout out to Ayoka Lee, right? As she was out there doing her thing, and 23 for 30, right? That's 23 for 30, and that's no 3-pointers. That's an old school Wilt Chamberlain kind of stat line, like. We got some more comments. Flat chested motherfuckers. I love them though. Yo, listen. Everybody loves titties. We don't care what size your titties come. We love them all. Well, there's a forest fire going on. Oh wait, is that cocaine burning?
I don't know.
Are you guys burning cocaine? Put out that fire before you burn all the goods. We play Grand Theft Auto. We're playing Grand Theft Auto over here. Hey, can I join? Lucifer. I don't know. Cause they tell me when you let Satan into your house, it's a wrap. Like I don't know. I was told to rebuke you. I'm not even religious. But you know what? But you know what though? I heard Jay-Z made a song about you one time. So yeah, you could join it. You have a sports question? Go ahead and pop it. What's going on? I can't say your name. We just gonna say that we're gonna take an L on this one. What's going on, L? What's going on? Welcome to the Mighty Sports Podcast. Let's see if we have him connected. No, he's not connected yet. I should be connected now. What's going on, L? How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty well.
Welcome.
Laughing all the time. I mean, since the time I joined.
So, welcome to the Mighty Sports Podcast. Do you have any particular sports question, or you just wanted to join and shoot the shit a little?
Yeah. I'm gonna talk trash. I mean, it's been a good year, I guess.
Okay. Are you into sports? Do you have a sports team that you're into?
Yep. I'm more into basketball now.
Okay.
Since the time I was a little boy, I had an into playing basketball, but I was very small at that time, and now that my height grew up, so that's the reason I tend to join the academy.
Oh. The academy. And what does that entail?
Basketball academy in India.
Okay. So, do you watch a lot of NBA?
Oh yeah, I love Michael Jordan.
Okay. So
He's not playing anymore.
I know those are a couple of GOATs. Who's your favorite current NBA player? And once again, first of all, thank you for joining us all the way from India. We got India in the house. Big up to India. Not to be confused with Indiana, for all the Americans in the building. So who's your current favorite NBA player?
It's LeBron James.
It's LeBron James. So by default, does that make the Lakers your current favorite NBA team?
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
What is it about the great LeBron James that you enjoy so much?
So the fact he can throw the basketball to the middle point is just quite stupendous, and that gets me almost every time. And he barely misses a shot.
Yeah, he is this year he is actually having one of his better years. It's actually it's actually ironic that early in the podcast I was talking about how the Brooklyn Nets probably don't get enough attention, and it's a double-edged sword kind of thing. But I feel like the Brooklyn Nets may get talked about in the rest of the world and the rest of the nation, but in New York they barely even make the back page sometimes. But the great LeBron James, he also happens to not really be getting that kind of love that this year, and he's also in a Lakers jersey. When he's having one of his most productive seasons, he's also chasing down an all-time great record. He's probably having one of the most productive seasons he's ever had, and yet his greatness happens to be overlooked a little this year. And I know I've never questioned this before in the past, but I think now may actually be the perfect time to wonder if we are suffering from a little bit of great LeBron James. What's the word I'm looking for? If we're suffering from, I guess, LeBron James lag, like we've gotten too much of him, and we're kind of just taking him for granted a little bit this year, because he is having one of his better productive years. And I'm wondering, is it because, are we tired of LeBron James, or is it because his team also isn't living up to par? Because as it currently stands right now, the Lakers basically have the same exact record as the New York Knicks. And if you would have told Knicks fans at the beginning of the season that you and the Lakers would have the same record, Knicks fans would be excited. I don't know if Lakers fans would be. But now when you look at it and you take the blinders off and you actually look at what that actually sounds like at this time of the record, you're talking about both of these teams being under 500. So that may actually, it makes me wonder, is it because he's under 500, or are we just getting tired of LeBron James? And I tend to lean a little bit towards being tired of LeBron James, because LeBron James being under 500 should be a story in itself. He's the greatest player in the game right now. He's the great LeBron James. He's the king with the rings. He's Oprah with the rings. You know, you understand? Like you're supposed, like he's the guy that moves the needle. But yet, when his team is not living up to standards and and they're below 500, barely making the playoffs, well, what are they? As it currently stands right now, they're about to be in the play-in again. That they're not being talked about. And I think that this needs to be the time where the great LeBron James is talked about the most. I don't know. Maybe it's me. What do you think?
He's the big gun when it comes to basketball. You know, his accomplishments include 4 NBA championships, like 4 NBA and MVP awards, 4 NBA Finals MVP awards, and 2 Olympic gold medals during his 18-year career. Can you imagine?
So maybe we do have. So is it LeBron James fatigue? That's the word I've been looking for. Is it LeBron James fatigue? Have we gotten fatigued with his greatness? A little.
No. I don't think that he became complacent of his own achievements.
Well, I don't think
he's striving forward.
I'm not trying to say that he's complacent. I wonder if the media's coverage of him has gotten complacent because they've just gotten enough of him until he breaks more records. I don't know. I find it, like I said, I find it weird. It's just something I wonder about because in all of his greatness, I wonder why. It looks like we are coming to just around that point in time where we're about to switch over feeds. Everybody that is familiar with how this works, we're about to start a brand new feed on Podbean. Everybody else that's listening will be hearing a commercial. We'll be back in the next 60 seconds. Don't you guys go anywhere.
They didn't join this team to win championships or become famous.
I'm still recording. Shit.
They joined because there is important work to be done, and only some able to do it. They are brighter, better educated, and equipped than any team in history. They are doctors, lawyers, engineers, technologists, and combat troops, all prepared for whatever comes their way. You'll find them where the lights don't flash, and the only contract they sign is for themselves and their country. One day, they may be asked what they did to make a difference in this world, and they can respond, I became a soldier.
Yep, folks, we're back with the Mighty Sports Podcast. As you know, I'm still your host, the one on Untitled Chapter, a.k.a. the One Take Wonder. And let me explain to you guys what I mean by One Take Wonder. It means that I don't edit my podcast. I gives it to you raw like old dirty bastard. You understand? You take it how you get it. You like, whatever comes out is what comes out. You understand? A.k.a. the Motor Mouth of the South, a.k.a. Mr. Energy, a.k.a. your favorite Army vet, a.k.a. the Army Black Knight himself, a.k.a. the Brooklyn Buzzsaw, a.k.a. the Mad Podcaster. Bar Scott ain't got shit on me. Can't wait. That's my dude, though. A.k.a. home of Rock Nation Sports, a.k.a. the best Knicks podcast in the business. But tell Rock Nation Sports to holler at me. We're their unofficial podcast. So let's go ahead and switch gears, right, for the last segment of the show, as we go into the NFL. As you guys are well aware, folks, we just had the wild card, the divisional round of the playoffs just ended for the NFL. As we now move into the championships round, folks, 4 teams left. We're basically into what's considered a Final Four scenario right now. Right, there are 4 teams left, and the winners of these 2 games are basically going to go to the Super Bowl. In one scenario, we were able to live and die in LA, where San Francisco was taking on the LA Raiders, and then we have Cincinnati. Then we have the story of the Young Bucks. The Cincinnati Bengals are taking on Patrick Your Engine Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. But before we get there, I really wanted to, as we move into the NFL talk, I really wanted to talk about I really wanted to focus on the coaches, right? The coaches. Because you can really see in a lot of these instances how coaching matters. And coaching didn't matter. You guys know if you're a Dallas Cowboys fan, you think you're over here thinking that coaching is everything. And coaching if you would have had efficient coaching, that proper coaching would have helped you win your last playoff game. Your team was the most penalized team all season. That is discipline from a lack of leadership from coaching. When you played your playoff game, you had 13 penalties, which leads to a lack of leadership that comes from your coaching. When it comes to the last play of the game, you didn't know how to properly execute that play because it wasn't coached up to you properly. I get it. Coaching matters. Now, there's been one coach that has been out of the NFL for some time. And while he's been out of the NFL, he was brought to a program to try to help turn the program around. Now, while he has helped turn the program around, he has not helped that program win a national championship and really only helped them beat their rival once. But one time is all right with me. What did Drake say? That coach is one Jim Harbaugh. And it's funny what happens with Jim Harbaugh, right? Jim Harbaugh has been the coach of Michigan now for feels like a decade already, right? And the crazy thing about Jim Harbaugh is that somehow his name gets leaked to the media as a candidate every single year. And you know what happens every single year? That his name is tied to a professional NFL team. He doesn't go to that professional NFL team. You know what else also happens? He stays in college. You know why he also ends up staying in college? Because every time his name gets tied to an NFL team, that college team is forced to give him a raise. It's brilliant, by the way. If I was Jim Harbaugh's people, I'll be leaking my name to the NFL every 2 years. So that every 2 years I could randomly qualify for an extension and a raise. Hey, that sounds like exactly what's been going on. This has been the first year where it actually feels like there's actually weight behind that. And if there is no weight behind it, on a year where Jim Harbaugh finally beat Ohio State, their rival, you know what happens if he doesn't go? More money, more money, more money, more. So I don't know who in the NFL or who in the media or if it's his agent, but every single time that Jim Harbaugh gets mentioned as a possible candidate for an NFL job, cha-ching, he cashes in. But this one may be real. This one may be real. But it just sucks that he is being tied to the same job that one Sean Payton is being tied to. And that's the Dallas Cowboys job, who has a head coach already. Interesting. And why is Sean Payton being tied to the head coaching job in Dallas? Because Sean Payton wants to take a hiatus. He wants to take a break. It's not you, it's me kind of thing. I think it's time for us to take a hiatus and see other people. Sean Payton has officially told the New Orleans Saints that, you know what? I think we're going to put this relationship on pause for a bit. I don't like where things are going. I'm a little burnt out. You keep stressing me. Like you keep talking about like my D is good, but you keep talking about all these about these boos at the quarterback position. Like I'm not trying to be stressed like this. Like I'm gonna take a step back real quick. And we know he got ties to Jerry Jones, so there's that. Sean Payton also could step back and do media for a year. There's that. But those are going to be the two names that they're talking about right now, between Jim Harbaugh and Sean Payton. And listen, Sean Payton, like I said, it's all about coaching, right? Sean Payton has done a hell of a job with this New Orleans Saints team. A New Orleans Saints team that not only lost Drew Brees, they also lost. You have to remember that they also lost their quarterback in Jameis Winston, and he was also trying to piece this together with Taysom Hill. That last year when they didn't have their number one weapon, they still found ways. They still found ways to be successful. Like Sean Payton is one of the very few, not only tenured, but very highly respected, legacy revered coaches in the game. Got a championship for the city of New Orleans, but New Orleans had nothing. They were devastated from a champion. They were devastated from a hurricane, and that team basically helped bring the city back together. That's all Sean Payton. He would forever be honored in the city of New Orleans. Never have to pay for a meal anywhere he goes if he doesn't want to. And then there's Jim Harbaugh. Never highly respected coach. Massive around the college regs. We all know what he did in San Francisco with Colin Kaepernick all take a knee. We know about his reputation. She's like, that's too hard.
She likes it.
She looked at you like, what? She's about to bite you. See? Told you. She looked at you like, that's too rough. Told you. She's like, how you like this? How you like it if I hate you? See? I knew what that look was like. Oh, shit. I knew this was happening. I knew this was about to happen. Come here, homie. That's Virgo, everybody. Virgo. Everybody. Virgo.
She only behaves for the camera.
She's in hotness.
Hotness.
So, we're seeing that coach is being brought up because coaching has been said to matter. Right? We have 4 teams left in the playoffs. And 3 of these teams you can identify and say that without their coach, without the proper coaching, this team is not where they want to be. Like I said, to be honest with you, I don't know how Cincinnati's coaching situation is. To be honest with you, I can't grade Cincinnati's coaches, but we all know who Todd McVay is, and we all know Sean McVay is, and we all know who. Shit, why am I forgetting everybody's name? We all know who Kyle Shanahan is, and we all know who. Andy Reid is exactly. We all aware of these guys' offensive coaching genius. And that's what we're seeing. That's what we're seeing left standing. A lot of the teams that left, that aren't here. Now, granted, some teams just got beat bad, right? Like, some teams just couldn't catch a bad... Like, some teams just got a bad break. But if you go back to the wild card round of the playoffs, you can see how all of those teams, or majority of those teams, they either lost because they had a bad quarterback or they lost because of bad coaching. Some of them was a combination of both. Because how Dak Prescott couldn't manage to run the ball and get down in 17 seconds, and yet with Buffalo and Kansas City managed to put 21 points on the board in 17 seconds is beyond me. God, that game. I know Buffalo fans, they just must be absolutely heartbroken after that loss. Like they absolutely must be. And again, they're a team that they're coached up well. That's just like that divisional round wasn't really about coaching. Like, it had a lot of other elements in there, but I can't say that it was a lot of bad coaching. But I can say that the better coach won as well. Like I said, a lot of these teams had great talents, and their talent shined. But maybe the difference in what happened here in some of these scenarios was the coach, and some of them it wasn't. Cincinnati gets past Tennessee, and we can fully see why Ryan Tannehill isn't that dude. Ryan Tannehill actually almost played so bad that it almost justified giving Adam Gase a third chance into the league. Or a second chance in the league. Whatever chance it's going to be. A chance at coaching a third team. Or just back in the league, period. Like, that's how bad Ryan Tannehill played. First pass of the game, interception. First pass of the half, interception. Last play of the game, literally, to lose the game. Last play of the game, interception. That's a game I'm not really blaming on coaching. That's a player deficiency. Ryan Tannehill isn't that dude. Like, Ryan Tannehill, we knew that Ryan Tannehill wasn't that dude in Miami. Like whether he had the gaze with him or not. And we could say that he's not that dude in Tennessee. He literally lost this game. But we do know Smoking Joe Burrow is that dude. Regardless of what coach is going to bring or not. Now, the thing about it is that what are they going to do against Kansas City? Again, Cincinnati has been the most dangerous team in these playoffs to me. Only from I don't have nothing to lose mentality. A complete I don't give a fuck mentality. Like, I have nothing to lose here. But also, something that I'm realizing too is that Cincinnati low-key did something, right? And I keep peeling back the layers of what they did, because I've talked about this several times. That they got the quarterback and the wide receiver combination that mattered. And granted, I said the one that mattered. The one where it was two guys that always had a chip on their shoulder. That really had a chip on their shoulder. Two guys that were champions. Champions. Not two guys that went to the most talented school and won. Not two guys that goes to the school that always gets all of the best recruits they won. No. They went to the school that had to claw, scratch, fight, kick, lie, cheat, steal, and bite to win games. They went to the school that had to get and earn every single inch. I'm sorry, in a year of Clemson's and Georgia's and Alabama's, LSU came in and they stole one with Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. Two dogs that went out there and they knew what winning was like from an underdog mentality, knowing what it had to be like to go out there and go get it, go chase it, go take it, go snatch it, go grab it. I got to have it kind of mentality. That's what they went in there with. Not the spoiled teams of Clemson's, the spoiled star players of Clemson's, the spoiled star players of Alabama. Not the running backs. That kind of feel like they have everything kind of handed to them. Most talented team, most talented recruit class, best this, best that, best this, best that. You're expected to win. Expected to win every single season. Like, they didn't have one of they weren't one of those teams. So then you don't just piece together the wide receiver and quarterback duel. You piece together a dog duel, a championship dog duel that don't know no better. That they just gonna go out here and hoop and ball and let whatever happens happen. Que sera, sera. What is to be will be. I don't think that Cincinnati is going to beat Kansas City. But I'm here for the chaos, and I would love to see it. No, we'll continue to break down this week. And actually, no, there's not even too much time to break down this week, because when we come back when we come back on Friday, I'm really gonna start picking these games, right? We're really gonna go out and pick these games. So let's talk about how all these teams really got here. Cincinnati beating Tennessee 19-16. Walk-off field goal. But like I said, this was a game that Tennessee had in the bag. Like, Tennessee had this game. And they lost it. They completely lost this game. Ryan Tannehill, interception after interception after interception when it mattered the most. And Tennessee's run game, phenomenal. 66 yards from Freeman. How many ice creams you have that you don't plan on sharing with anybody? Foreman, Dante Foreman, 66 yards. Derrick Henry came back, 20 touches, 62 yards. A.J. Brown, 142 yards receiving. Julio Jones, 62 yards. So when he got the ball to his playmakers, they did work. So, you don't think anybody else would want to eat some of that ever?
What are you talking about?
The ice cream.
It's not for everyone.
Oh, this will be only for you?
Yes.
Okay. It's kind of selfish.
Am I greedy?
Yes. It's kind of selfish. You have a big old tub of ice cream in a house with three.
This is not a big ice cream. This is a personal size ice cream.
It's a personal size for you. Okay,
Exactly.
folks. We all know a personal size of ice cream is maybe like this big or so, right? She has one of. She has this that she's eating by herself in one sitting. A whole quart. Well, I'm just saying.
That's a personal size.
Cool. I'm just saying.
If I buy ice cream, I'm gonna have to buy a bigger one.
Okay. I'm gonna say we buy ice cream like that for the whole house to share. On a
Yes?
note. Yes.
This is small.
I'm just like, no, we buy ice cream like that for the whole house to share.
Babe, you see how much ice cream I eat?
I do. I'm also saying though, we normally buy like that much ice cream for the whole. So I'm just letting you know how it looks. Like damn, that's kind of stuff. Like damn, you just eating that whole ice cream by yourself. You're just gonna eat it out the thing and not leave any for anybody. Even if you like, I'm just saying like that's how it looks. But now that you explained it, okay, that's how that's a small tub to you.
This is my ice cream.
Okay. Just remember, you live in a house with people. It's like 2 tubs of ice cream in 2 days. You live in a house with people. Sharing is caring.
I gotta buy a sharing size.
Like I generally don't want any of that ice cream because I'm gonna get a lactose-free one anyway for myself. But I may want to have like a bowl or two, or maybe my mom may want like, oh, she saw ice cream, maybe she want to like think of having a bowl and you just. Nobody can even eat after you. Well, she can't.
You're making this such a big deal.
Sorry, I'm not making it a big deal.
Yeah, you are.
I
'Cause
don't
you
mean
stop your
to.
whole fucking podcast to show them my pint of ice cream and tell them, oh yeah, look. You're selfish.
Big tub of footprints.
This is my favorite ice cream. What the fuck do you want me to do? I didn't know.
Have you tried the? Don't they have a brownie footprints?
I don't want that.
I mean, I'm just asking you a question. Don't they have like a brownie footprints? Hello?
Huh?
Don't they have like a brownie footprints?
I don't know.
Yeah. I thought I saw like a brownie footprints once. I think I even had a brownie footprints once. I think that's the footprints I've had before. But not.
I never brought ice cream up here.
Gonna talk about ice cream?
No, it's just unenjoyable when you put such a spotlight on it. The fuck?
My bad. Never mind. I'll continue with the podcast. I'll leave you alone. Ice cream, ice cream, ice cream. Watch these rap niggas get all up in your guts. Frenchman nutter butter, pecan, chocolate deluxe. Even caramel sundaes is getting touched. Scooped in my ice cream tub. You tear shit up.
I hate this nigga. I hate him. Shut up.
Okay, let's talk about how these teams got. Let's continue with all these teams got here. So, Tennessee had a good game plan. They executed fairly well. Offense, they were getting the yards, just not enough touchdowns. Again, three interceptions by Ryan and Tannehill. Defense of the Tennessee Titans, immaculate. You understand that? I think they sacked Joe Burrow 9 times. 9 times in this game. Let me explain to you something, right? If you normally hear about a quarterback being sacked 9 times in a game, you also hear the phrase that follows, they were demoralized. They beat the will out of them. They snatched their soul. These are normally the kind of remarks and equations that come with somebody being sacked 9 times. That's not what happened here. This is what I mean by Joe Burrow is el diferente. This kid is different. He was sacked like 60 times his whole entire year. Didn't faze him. So, when guys are saying that, oh, I see ghosts, or these sacks are getting to me, I'm being rushed, I was beat into submission. Well, we see that you were choosing to be beat into submission. Mentally, maybe you never were here. Maybe you never had it. Just like we see the Peyton Manning where he threw 20-something interceptions his first season. Well, some guys, if they throw 20 interceptions out their first season, that's kind of it. They're mentally fucked up their whole entire career. But they use Peyton Manning as the guy that is able to bounce back from that. If you can't bounce back from them, you just can't bounce back from it. Some guys aren't mentally there. Some guys aren't mentally it. Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, the rest of that Cincinnati squad, they're mentally there. They mentally have it. Ryan Tannehill, yeah, you can see he don't got it. But Joe Burrow, yeah. Joe Burrow is going to be a problem. Like, if this is an indication of years to come, so I have to put that little disclaimer on there. Joe Burrow's going to be a problem. He's going to be a problem. In a division that has Pittsburgh and Baltimore, he is going to prove to be a problem. Because Baltimore, we know Baltimore, Lamar Jackson. We know that they're going to be there. They're going to be there around double-digit wins every single year. Five along, they have Lamar playing at the level that he's currently playing in. Pittsburgh, they don't have a quarterback. Ben just retired. So we're going to see if I don't even want to talk about Aaron Rodgers yet. I really don't want to talk about Aaron Rodgers yet. Only because I'm going to save Aaron Rodgers for last. So that's how Cincinnati got here. By beating Ryan Tannehill, by having Joe Burrow sacked 9 times, hit God knows how many times, still standing in the paint, still taking all those hits, getting the ball to his playmakers, and getting the dub. Just basically doing everything that matters. And all that matters. All that mattered was the dub. And then we saw how how Kansas City got here, which was probably the best game and the most exciting game of the weekend that really helped bookend a really great weekend of football. A lot of people say the greatest week of football that they've ever seen. I feel like a lot of playoffs come down to that. But, yeah, I can't remember the last time that we had every single game come down to the very final play. 3 walk-off kicks and a walk-off touchdown in overtime. That doesn't come very often. And Buffalo and Kansas, right? While a lot of the other games, right? Like a lot of the other games that played, like Cincinnati and Tennessee, there's a clear rooted interest there. Cincinnati over Tennessee. At least for me there was. Right? I know a lot of people was hoping for Derrick Henry or whatever. I'm looking at the quarterbacks. But Cincinnati over Tennessee. LA over the Bucks. San Fran over Green Bay. In a weird way, right? Like, and we'll go through them all. Like I said, it was weird because I remember remember last week was the week of the underdog. Like, have no fear, the underdogs are here. Y'all should have seen the look that she just gave me a while ago, folks. It was the death look, and she flicked me off and everything. See, there it goes. So, Kansas City Chiefs got here in a game where I don't think that anybody really wanted a clear winner, in a sense. It's almost like you would have been happy regardless of who won this game. It was like both rooted interests were here. And I think it really was that. Because Kansas City is almost like they're the fan favorite, but Buffalo was the people's favorite. Like, you know what I mean? Like the underdog favorite. It was really weird because even though we've seen Kansas City and Patrick Mahomes come in already, everybody was ready to see Josh Allen and Buffalo finally get this one. And it really came down to who had the ball last. And a lot of times when you're playing Kansas City, that's a lot of times what it comes down to, right? We saw that when Kansas City beat New England. We're talking about when Tom Brady was there. But also when Tampa Bay beat Kansas City. Right? Or I shouldn't say that. We saw it when New England beat Kansas City when Tom Brady was there. But also when Kansas City beat New England when Tom Brady was there as well. We saw both of those matchups. It's whoever had the ball last. Kansas City is one of those teams sometimes you have to outscore them. This game was one of those games where it was just straight score. Like when was it before we finally saw a punt? This is a heartbreaker, regardless of who you had the rooted interest for. Like this game was just one big old complete heartbreaker. I feel like, and for Bills Mafia, Bills Nation, I do feel for you. Like I got Bills Mafia friends. Like one of my brothers is a Bills fan. Let's let you guys know we haven't heard from the Bills drunk Uncle SB since that loss. Like he's been MIA. We got to send the Mounties out to go look for him because he's from Canada, so we can send the Canadian Mounties. I haven't heard from Lou since then. He out now. This is the last time I seen Lewis. He was out there hanging out with Kanye. So he's going through one. But now that leaves it with the match with Cincinnati, Kansas City. It's a hell of a game. Just that's one of the games you don't want to see anybody lose. unlike the other two NFC games, when you had San Francisco taking on Green Bay, and it's weird because there's a lot of things that we witnessed Aaron Rodgers go through this year, right? COVID, vaccinated, not being COVID vaccinated, being vaccinated, being immunized, not being immunized, whatever. And then him also going into Chicago, was it Minnesota, one of those teams. And he told that crowd that he still owns them. Well, San Francisco was kind of saying the same thing to them. And what is that?
It's a stock market on the game. I'm trying to buy a house.
Oh. Interesting. I didn't know they had that. That game is really inclusive. Like I haven't really played Grand Theft Auto 5. I think the last Grand Theft Auto I played may have been like San Andreas or something. I low-key don't even know why I have Grand Theft Auto 5. I think I had Grand Theft Auto 5 because it was Grand Theft Auto 5. I think that's the only reason why I have the game, because it was Grand Theft Auto 5. And I don't think that I ever actually played it fully. Or ever. San Francisco 49ers, they beat the Green Bay Packers. This game also was decided by, stop me if you heard this already, a walk-off field goal. Now, I'm not going to talk about that game yet. Let's talk about the LA Rams who beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Who, stop me if you heard this already, this game was decided by a walk-off field goal. This was probably the best game. This is probably the game that I enjoyed watching the most when the game was over. And that is because it ended in a Tom Brady loss. And if you guys know anything about me, there's one thing that you guys know. And that is that...
I'm from New York, and you know what? Tom Brady's a fucking bitch.
And I was glad to see them lose. Really happy to see them lose. Now, remember, we came on here, before they lost, we did come on the podcast and we said... And we was applying pressure, right? I think Tom Brady may have gotten one of the second amount of pressure, if I can remember. Actually, I don't even think he did. I can't remember. But I know there was a decent amount of pressure we put on Tom Brady, only because we thought that this may have been Tom Brady's last year for some odd reason, whether he won or lost. We figured that if he won, he wanted to do the back-to-back thing, that people like to do. Hey, you win one twice, you go back-to-back, and then after that, you go off and you walk off into the sunset as a champion. If you don't win, you still get to hold on to the fact that you won one without Bill Belichick. Because now things just aren't the same. Now, one of the reasons why I thought and suspected that Tampa Bay would probably lose this game, and I was hoping they would lose this game, is because they were having problems on their offensive line. And having a problem on the offensive line when you have guys like Aaron Donald and Von Miller and the rest of that squad coming after you. You saw what happened here. Now, that kind of thing didn't affect Smoking Joe Burrow, but we know that this kind of thing can affect Tom Brady. There's been one line that has been said about Tom Brady ever since he's been into the league. If you could get him to move his feet and get off of and put him on his seat, you can start disrupting him and turn him into a regular quarterback. That's anybody. We saw that happen to Patrick Mahomes last year in the Super Bowl when he was missing two players from his offensive line. So what I was really hoping what would happen here is the same thing that happened to Kansas City, that Tampa Bay did to Kansas City. I was hoping that the LA Rams would do to Tampa Bay. And that's exactly what they did. They came after him with ruthless aggression. That is a wrestling term. And yes, folks, exactly what they did. They came after him with ruthless aggression. And they utilized that ruthless aggression to get themselves a W. They made Tom Brady feel uncomfortable. They made him feel they made him feel uneasy. They busted up his lip. They hit him in the head. They intercepted his balls. They made him feel uncomfortable to the fact where Tom Brady, as the NFL season is currently playing out, they don't know if he's gonna return. And Matthew Stafford needed this. He needed this win. Actually, he needs all of these wins. I don't know if Matthew Stafford can suffer not winning or making it to the Super Bowl. A divisional champ, the conference championship game is cool. It takes the narrative and the monkey off his back saying that, oh, you can't win a playoff game. Because we see now what happens, like with all of the other great quarterbacks around the league. You combine your quarterback with great coaching and a great team, and you let them do great things. If not, then you're just asking them to be a stat stuffer. If you're not building around your great quarterback, when you realize you have a quarterback like Matthew Stafford, like Lamar Jackson, like Tom Brady, like Josh Allen, like the guy in LA, the Chargers guy. I can't remember his name right now. When you realize that you have these talents, you can't just be like, oh, okay, we got this guy now. Now we can play dick and ball. No. You strike while the iron is hot. You put that team, you do everything that you can to put that team together right now, right here and right now. And you keep doing everything to build around that player, to make that player shine better and to do everything to highlight that player. Because if not, you're just making them a stat stuffer. And I think it's a part that they have in Detroit. You see him getting hit with Sean McVay. Again, really good coach. Like I said, a lot of this got to do with coaching. Sean McVay helped get his team here. Along with the work of his quarterback, a quarterback that had won a playoff game before. This had been a successful quarterback in this league. And not only did he did he get this playoff win, but he also did it against the GOAT, which also helps. Which may be the only way that allows him to lose this year, but he'll have to win in the next 2 years. That's probably the thing that matters the most. That if Matthew Stafford doesn't win this year, and you probably want them to win because you want them to make it look like whatever Tom Brady did in winning the championship in Tampa when it comes to your hometown is nothing. Anybody can do this when they have everything built around them perfectly. That you may be able to lose this year, but you don't get more than a 3-year window. But this team is ready to win now. And shout out to everybody in LA that balled. Not just Matthew Stafford, not just Von Miller, not just Sam Darnold, but also O.J. Beckham Jr., who came out there and made all the necessary catches that he needed to make when it mattered. Balled out when the stage mattered. Because one thing I guess we learned about O.J. Beckham Jr., hey, he wants that stage to perform in. He's got addicted to the limelight. That light, that camera, and that action. We all about that action, boss. We all about that action except for one man. And that one man, as we finish up the podcast, is the one that they like to call the bad man. But I'm no longer calling him the bad man. I'm calling him the average man. So average, he had to put A in his name twice. Aaron. Aaron. Hey, Aaron Rodgers. Who I think we may fully recognize Aaron Rodgers for who he is now. And that is the greatest regular season quarterback we have ever seen. Now, this title used to be given to Peyton Manning for what Peyton Manning used to do. Constantly make it to the postseason and make it to the postseason and make it to a postseason. And would just come after failure, after failure, after failure, after failure, and then win one, and then make it and lose, and make it and lose, and have to go to Denver and get one, and lose one, and then get back there and win one. You know what I mean? Like, so, and then basically retire after that. Like, didn't have no more than like a couple years after that left, if that. Aaron Rodgers, I feel like we've elevated Aaron Rodgers to the lights of, and trust me, I'm separating them, to the lights of Big Ben and Eli Manning and Peyton Manning. And he's probably right underneath them. He's the Drew Brees. One ring. One good ring, but one ring. But one ring for a guy that's been considered the most talented quarterback of the throw of the ball that we have had in the league for the last 15 years. You understand that it's been a long time that he hasn't been scrutinized. And he's gotten away with just being able to get, I just say, to have that one ring. And I'm telling you right now, Patrick Mahomes isn't going to be able to go that long with just one ring before his feet get called to the table, to the fire. He's not going to be able to go that long. So the fact that Aaron Rodgers has been able to go that long is baffling to me. It must be what that mystique of Green Bay has truffled around them, because Green Bay now has had 30 years of 30, almost 40 years of Hall of Fame quarterback play, and they have 3 rings. Like, where they do that at? Like, you understand? Like, they're not being held to the same standard. Like, you understand? Aaron Rodgers hasn't even done better than Brett Favre. So there's a simple. Now, granted, his interception or pass, his reception to interception ratio is ridiculous, and it's probably gonna go down as one of the all-time best in NFL history. That don't mean nothing to me if you don't got no rings behind it. Lamar Jackson is gonna go down with one of the best winning records and probably some of the best rushing records in the league for a quarterback. But who cares if you don't got no ring? We've said this time and time again. Don't mean a thing if you ain't got that bling. And for somebody who's considered on the level of Aaron Rodgers, the fact that you only have one been able to skate by is unacceptable. We demanded 2 from Eli. We demanded 2 from Peyton. We demanded 2 from Big Ben. I'm sorry. We demanded at least 2 from Aaron from Tom Brady. Actually, we demanded 5 from him. Believe it or not. Because of all of those cheating scandals. He needed the 4 and 5. We demanded 5 from him. 5! And yet, Aaron Rodgers been able to skate away with 1. I'm about to drop one of those A's out of your name if you're going to keep up with 1 ring. You don't deserve that second A. Just Aaron. Not no Aaron. Fuck, I'm giving you a second A for. You don't got 2 rings. You understand? LeBron James has 4 rings. We demand 7 from him. And what I mean by what we demand from him, to no longer scrutinize him, so that person could go along their career and skate by without having anything else really attached to them. With everybody being like, hey, they've done enough. Because remember, let's say Tom Brady is really the outlier. Let's not forget that. Nobody's ever getting up to 5 and 7 rings again. The standard is 2 rings for your quarterback. 2. When you a true baddie, 4. When you a GOAT and beyond, or maybe the GOATs get 4. And more. And more. Fucking Tom Brady. Getting some exercise in, baby? Get some exercise in, baby? Oh, she can't hear me. She got the headphones in. Or she can hear me, but she's acting like she can't hear me and ignore me while she has the headphones in. I know how she be doing. Oh, big booty self. You just wait. I'm gonna put that booty on my face and then see what happens. Folks, we are coming up about the last 10 minutes of the podcast. I'm not, out of everybody that lost this week, I would honestly have to say I am most disappointed by Aaron Rodgers. He probably had the most disappointing performance out of them all. How much points did he put up? 10? If I'm not mistaken, what was it? This game was what? 10-9, 9-10, 10-7, 10-13? I'm waiting for that score to pop back up. I don't have it written down in front of me. Everybody damn near outscored them. It's supposed to be Aaron Rodgers. See, while he's over here talking about he owns Chicago, so San Francisco owns him. And they have only 13-10. As Jimmy G started to give away this game again. And they had to go back to the running game. And then that motherfucking boy D-Boy Samuels was out here snatching motherfucking souls on the motherfucking field. Tomorrow, I am tired of all these cornerbacks on this motherfucking field. Trying to stop me. Tom Brady, even like I say, even for as much as they got to Tom Brady, even Tom Brady, we said it before, he ran out of weapons. But that's also, see, he got brought back down to normalcy, normality. See, the LA Rams are looking like Tampa Bay was looking last year. Competent quarterback and weapons everywhere. So when we come back on Friday and we come and join you one time, that's if my sugars don't hold me up again like she did this time. Yeah, she's the reason why we guys didn't start on time or we didn't go to Sharky's. Just to let you guys know. But when we come back on Friday, we have Cincinnati versus Kansas City to talk about, San Francisco versus LA. As there's not going to be a lot of traveling in that game, right? And that's basically an interstate rivalry. I don't know who I want to win. Like I said, I'm here for the madness. So there's a part of me that seriously would love to see Jimmy G and Smoking Joe Burrow in the playoffs or in a championship game. I don't know why. Now that's gonna suck, Cincinnati, right? But man, can you imagine? Can you imagine Joe Burrow, second year in the league, going to the Super Bowl? You understand what that's gonna do, right? We understand what that's gonna do. That's automatically gonna have him tied to Dan Marino his whole entire career until he makes it back to another Super Bowl. Like, see how crazy that is? I'm letting you know now. Letting you guys know now. That if Cincinnati makes it to the Super Bowl, I don't know if they're gonna win or not. If they make it to that Super Bowl, that's where the madness is. But conventional wisdom tells us, and the safe bet right now is Kansas City, LA. But who wants to be safe? Folks, you stay safe. You stay healthy. We're about to leave. This is Talented Omar Taylor. This is the Mighty Sports Podcast. In case you guys don't know,
I'm from New York, and you know what? Tom Brady's a fucking bitch.
And you've been listening to the Mighty Sports Podcast. We'll be back Friday night, 8:07 p.m. Hope you guys continue to catch a wave that never subsides. Shout out to Toby and Wnba. And also,
Fuck Trey Young! Fuck Trey Young! Fuck Trey Young! Fuck Trey Young!
Sorry, B. I tried. Honest. All the bandwidth in the world couldn't keep me contained. No lag, no lag. Gonna share my talents with Podbean Live. Always
And you
knew I'd
put this
take
in
the
the
pod
freezer for
there.
me?
Just a lot later than a lot of listeners thought.
Good.
Last of the real gabbers.
Hey,
Well, maybe not the last.
I can't hear you.
Munchkin got good mic skills.
Huh?
New,
You not finished?
improved MyT podcaster.
Stop, you hurting me.
Potting down now.
Baby, go sit down somewhere. You've been drinking too much.
Last
I only
call
have
for
one
drinks.
glass.
Bars
One too
closing.
many.
Sun's up. Heard the casino got a buffet breakfast. Don't
This
wanna
shit
go
just
far.
made me invested all my money in the fucking
Wow.
stock market, and now what?
Tired, B. Tired.
Cost for a dance is $40.
MyT.
Sports. Let's go ahead and end all this stuff so that we're not accidentally recording. I'm telling you, right? I'm telling you, we're gonna. I need to figure out how to use the OnlyFans live page so we can record on this motherfucker. For real, for real. We said those shackles on your feet. You owe me. Say you owe me something. Episode 55. Okay. I've cut Instagram. Let's cut YouTube before we start getting naked and shit.